Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Guide Rock, Nebraska, multiple tumultuous relationships in close living quarters causes fights, a Wal-Mart parking lot showdown, and a brutal murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, and welcome to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you so much for joining us. We were just laughing at the intro of the Walmart parking lot showdown.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to get meth gator tweets until the end of time.
You will not be disappointed. This is an interesting episode.
Yeah.
It's a wild one. Back to Nebraska.
Oh, boy.
And we know what happened last time. We were in Nebraska, as we'll talk about in a second. Oh, God,
oh,
Rulo.
boy, Rulo.
Before we get into all that, just want to thank everybody, first of all, for all of your reviews this week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Apple Podcast, the purple icon, whatever the hell that thing is there. Those help a lot. We don't know why. We don't know why they help drive you up the charts, but they do.
Right.
So if you want to help out the show, 5 stars would be extremely helpful. And it doesn't matter what you say. You can just say you're following instructions or directions and something sarcastic. It doesn't matter. It's
Meth gator.
Meth gator. It's not for our ego. We don't care. So if you do that, that is super helpful. If you want to be even more helpful, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. That's where you can find everything related to small town murder and crime and sports, which, man, crime and sports is on a crazy hot run right now.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to Crime and Sports, really check it out for the last 10 episodes and then go back and listen to the rest, because it's trust me, it's not sports. You're not going to hear a bunch of stats for 2 hours. It's a lot of just nickery, as we like to call it.
Yeah, douchebaggery.
It's someone who thinks they're really, really perfect, acting completely not perfect, and then having us make fun of them for it. So it's good stuff.
They deserve it.
Do that. You can get all the merchandise there. We have a bunch of new shirts up and stuff like that. Also, tickets to live shows.
Yes.
Full slate of Small Town Murder live shows. Have to tell you guys, some of them, first of all, tonight we are in Tampa. Right. Thursday, we're in Tampa, and then tomorrow night in Orlando. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's any tickets left in Tampa. I'm not positive. I know there's some in Orlando. So get your tickets to that if they're still available. I'm not sure. But some of these dates on the way out, Minneapolis getting close to sold out. Yeah. Dallas in November, as of Monday, there was 12 tickets left. And it's a 650-seat theater. So I don't know if there's any left. If so, grab them, finish them up. Milwaukee, there's barely anything left. Chicago's going fast. Get in there, get those tickets
Cleveland,
right now.
let's have a showdown. Let's play.
Yeah, showdown.
Get your goddamn tickets.
You're competing with Columbus. Don't let them punk you. Don't let them punk you.
Goddamn Columbus.
That's right. If you want to be a producer, one of our heroes, who we'll talk about at the end of the show, and honestly, who we're going to gush about because they're our favorite people in the world, you can do that by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal and using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. To make a one-time donation, you can find both of those links right from shutupandgivememurder.com. We make it easy. So thank you for everyone that does that. Quick disclaimer. It's a comedy podcast. It is. We're going to make some jokes. I'll tell you that right now. We don't make jokes at the expense of the victims or the victims' families. Why?
Go on.
Because we're assholes.
Oh, yeah, but
we're not scumbags.
That's true.
That's it. There's a lot of stuff to make fun of when it comes to these situations. Usually personal situations that lead to murder tend to get a little bit weird and have some odd things happen.
A lot of times they're comical.
It's a lot of comical stuff. And then the reactions of like a small town police force to something they're not used to is also sometimes comical. Lots of stuff comes up. What we're saying is we're going to have fun.
Yes.
If you don't want to have fun, we suggest there's plenty of other podcasts for you. You can go watch Dateline.
There's a Dateline podcast.
You can hear a very solemn description of pretty much the same brutal murder, except in a way more serious and kind of depressing way. But if you want to have some fun, and find the light in this tragedies that happen here, you hang out with us and you do this. If you think murder or true crime and comedy should never go together, go away. But for the rest of you, let's shout it out. Your car window. Stand atop your cubicle.
Do it loud.
Loud as you can. Say, shut up and give me murder. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
I would love to.
What do you say? Let's go on a trip. This week, last week we were up in the Northeast in Vermont.
Oh, that's right.
Very strange Vermont times that was. More syrup talk. No syrup this week, I promise you that. Okay. We're going to Nebraska this week.
Oh.
Been a while since we've been there.
Cornhusker State.
Oh, baby.
Is that what it's called?
That's, I don't know if they're the Cornhusker State, but they're the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, there's
college football team there. But this is Guide Rock, Nebraska.
Okay.
Never heard of it, huh?
No.
That's for good reason. Nobody's there. It's very few people. It's in south central Nebraska, right on the border to Kansas down there.
Oh.
This is Dorothy country.
Flat land is full. You can watch your dog run away.
Run right away and your house fly away with the tornado and everything else. This is some interesting country around these parts here. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes to Lincoln, Nebraska, the worst city in the world, as far as I'm concerned. By the way, see you in Omaha, which is a much better city.
Also sold out.
We'll be there and sold out.
We can say whatever we want.
Our kind of people. That's right. Well, they hate Lincoln too. They're in Omaha.
If they don't show up for the tickets they bought, then we still get paid.
Lincoln's their Tucson. All right. Doesn't matter. 5 hours to Des Moines, Iowa, over in the other direction there, and 3 hours to Rulo, Nebraska, episode 74 from June of 2018. And definitely, when people go, what's a crazy small town murder episode to start my friend on? That's one of the top 5 answers is episode 74. Rulo. You always hear Rulo, Phillips, Baraboo. There's a few that really pop out strong. Pocket Robin, Vampire Pyramid Scheme there. That's your 4. Those are the kind of our top 4 of people suggested, and
those are probably the best 4 for shock, awe, and hilarity.
Just weirdness, just out and out weirdness that happened there. So that's there. It's in Webster County, zip code 68942, area code 402. This is a small town. I mean, it's a it's 0.50 square mile. It's half a square mile.
How do you even pack a town in there?
The town. Well, it's just rural. There's like there's a post office and then some farms and rural people.
Got it.
Well, I mean, look at this. This is their motto. Town motto is, quote, "Hey, what's that? Oh, you missed the town." That's their motto. Like, you know, they know it's a small town. They get it.
Do they have a website?
Barely.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, telling you that you can pay your municipal water bill.
It's not like
through here
C: and then an underscore flashing.
It's just it's all. Well, when you start out, you got to do like an MS-DOS thing. You start it out with the whole. Yeah. What was the thing you had to do in computer lab when we were in like second grade?
You had to
do like a startup disk or some shit. Remember that whole thing?
You had to. I forget.
You had to put the one disk in, and still was a piece of shit. Well, we had old computers too.
Yeah,
this was a New York school system. We didn't even have heat in half my classrooms in high school. Never mind fucking computers. We had one room with a computer in it, and it was like, there it is.
Well, we grew up in a
Coleco fucking.
We grew up in a great generation where you remember the green screen. You know what I mean?
God,
all that stuff.
Awful.
Where you got to see how we got to where we are today. Yeah. You see shit, and then it helps you appreciate what we have today. Like
you get to drive in the Model T and have a sore ass the whole time.
And then you drive the fucking 70 CUDA, and you're like, this is amazing.
This is terrific.
But my son has this Xbox, and he plays online with his friends, and I'm like, motherfucker, I know I sound so
He's
old.
got this Xbox, and he's on there, he's watching the YouTube, and I don't know what the hell these kids are doing out there. They're jerking each other off. They're watching the YouTube. He's watching the YouTube all the time. I don't know what's happening.
I sound like an asshole, but the point is,
I do that all the time.
He doesn't understand how fucking good he has it.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, it's
crazy. Do you know
crazy.
how great this is?
That's fucking amazing.
It's so amazing.
Your friend just said words to you, and he's not here, and you heard him.
And you're not even on the phone.
No.
And your mother's not yelling at you to get off the phone. Right. You know how amazing that is? Jesus.
It's incredible.
So this town, Guide Rock, I don't know if I feel like they're still in the green screen era. If you go there, that's what they have. Yeah. It's still the same, whatever the hell.
First Apple.
That first, what was it, Apple II or whatever, that old 80s shit one. So, Guide Rock is the only town in America with the name Guide Rock.
Yeah.
Every other town has, every state has 4 towns. They all have the same name.
Why would anybody call it Guide Rock?
That's the thing. There's no other Guide Rock in America, apparently.
There's a ship rock in New Mexico.
There's a lot of rocks, but no Guide Rock.
There's a castle rock.
There is. So it's located on the north bank of the Republican River.
Oh.
So that'll tell you a lot right there.
Oh, boy.
Guide Rock, it was named after a prominent rock bluff, which they called Bluff Parher, which was, I don't know, means something in French. Okay. It doesn't matter. It became a very important landmark to the early trappers and also the Pawnee Indians that were in the area.
Got it.
As far as you could see.
How they know directions.
You were. Yeah. Okay. Now we know we're here.
Right.
One of those things. Good landmark here. The town itself was sort of settled in about 1870. They started putting things down, but it wasn't really a town yet, obviously. It was named after a French trapper who saw the deal and used it as a guide. The Parhor.
Okay.
Yeah. Parhor. That Parhor rock. I don't know about that.
That's what they call the beer girl on golf courses.
Probably. Yeah.
Where's the Parhor?
Where'd she go? Damn it. So, one of the first ideas in the area, because this is when they settled the area, there's a bunch of kind of towns close to each other. There's a town called Red Cloud around there, and that was one of the first kind of named towns. There was also Spotted Tail was another name. Well, they had a kind of an argument of what they were going to call the other town, Spotted Tail or Red Cloud.
Got it.
They couldn't decide. There was a Native American chief named Spotted Tail, and there was another one named Red Cloud. So they were competing. It's like a power struggle here. So the city council got together to vote between Guide Rock and Spotted Tail as the towns.
Wow.
For this town.
They even threw Red Cloud out.
The other town took Red Cloud.
He won Red Cloud.
He got it over there. So they're like, okay, Spotted Tail comes over here. Guide Rock or Spotted Tail. And it was a 6-6 deadlock.
Oh, shit.
Imagine the bloodshed in the streets back then over some shit like this. And the secretary, George Simpson, cast the deciding vote.
And he went with?
In favor of Red Cloud. And then Guide Rock became a different town. That's how it worked. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like like the old like political convention process where like in the 60s and forever, if they would have a contested election or convention, like Democrats, Republicans, whatever, they'd have like after the first couple ballots, they couldn't come to a conclusion. They'd just pick somebody else that they could all agree on that wasn't even in the fucking race up till then. You two fuck off, and they just get this guy. We all, you know what? Compromise candidate. That guy. There you go.
Awesome.
It's happened a lot too. It's crazy. So yeah, it's not a good thing here. So the time, like we said, town named after obviously Guide Rock. There's a lot of historical markers around here for Pawnee Indian things.
I like that about the Plains area of this country, that they really embrace the Native American stuff. It's pretty rad.
They fucking should.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
but it's just nice that they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back east, they name small towns after it, and then just that's it. And then it's just all George Washington plaques.
Right.
We're from New York. Everything is named after Indian stuff. It's, you know, I was born in Poughkeepsie. I lived in Wappingers, like all these different things. But then all plaques everywhere are just George Washington farted here, and you know, during the Revolutionary
Bridges named
War.
after a white guy. Just everything named after these.
Tons of those those blue historical marker plaques all over New York, everywhere, every 10 feet. So the railroad came through Guide Rock between 1881 and 1882. This is like Blazing Saddles is basically what this is. Real life Blazing Saddles instead of Rock Ridge.
It has happened so many times in these stories.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what towns blossom.
Do you think, I mean, they had to know that when they were writing that movie, right? That this was going to just be relatable to every small town ever?
Well, yeah, that's why they made the movie, because that was the old, that was the West Story, was the railroad coming through.
Right, but it's every goddamn town.
Yeah, that was the plot of every Western movie because of that.
All right.
So like that's Blazing Saddles is just a satire of Western movies. So it was because in the 50s the Western movie was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah,
so it's just a satire of that shit. Where that's the plot of all of them. I found an account here of people who came to the territory in this area right when it was first settled, which I always found fucking interesting. So they said that this family came in this year, and right, like it was 1871 or something, and they say, quote, that year Jacob and his sons built a cabin on the homestead of walnut logs, hewn out and notched with an axe.
Hewn.
Imagine doing that. They made lumber with an axe. With hand tools. The cracks between the logs were plastered with a mix of sand and lime. Even so, high winds sometimes cause snow to sift through and make small drifts on their beds and on the floor.
Oh my God.
This is hard living, man. But the cabin was still standing a century later, and after a second and third house had been built on the same hill. So this is
100 years that fucking rickety shit stood.
That some dude and his kid made with fucking hand tools
hatchet
and slept in snowdrifts for. This is crazy.
They like puttied up the holes, and then those holes weren't puttied very well, and the snow came through the fucking walls.
That was windy on the plains. It's flat. There's nothing for these.
Yeah, there's nowhere for it to stop.
Nowhere for it to go here. So yeah, they talk about this 1872 and 1875. Those early years were busy ones for every member of the family. They worked from dawn till dark, and later by candles or kerosene lamps. That's all these people did is work. In the fall, they made sorghum molasses from cane. Damn it.
Oh.
Fuck, there is syrup. Shit, I forgot about that. Well, I fucking wrote that and forgot it. Damn it, every week.
It's funny, though. We wonder why. We know why shit burns down, but you build a house out of logs and you notch it all out and fucking take your time, and then you put kerosene fucking
in a fireplace and a bunch of lamps. Let's see. How many fires can we start inside this house?
Let's build a shitload of fires inside this kindling box.
This is smart, I think. This is good here.
Tinder box.
Yeah, let's see.
That's what it is.
So... yeah, they said they made the sorghum molasses. They pressed juice out of the stalks and boiling it in large open kettles.
Yeah, that certainly
sounds terrible. Jesus Christ. So cornbread and molasses and meat or game was the common diet.
Okay.
Which
sounds delicious.
Not too bad.
I'm not scared.
Cattle and chickens provided milk and eggs and blah, blah, blah. Ducks and geese. Holy shit. They're raised to provide feathers to fill feather beds and pillows so they could sell that shit. This is a tough fucking way to go. Droughts, bugs, and grasshoppers were ever-present threats, too, they said.
Droughts, bugs, just the random
those,
bug.
and then those plagues of grasshoppers on top of that who are their own deal. This is goddamn crazy. So later on, though, larger farms came in, and the population of people decreased because people were consolidating farms. So then, it would be one family would own a lot more land and bump two families off and they'd be gone.
Got it.
So everything decreased over the years as this town has just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. And this is one of these, it's almost a ghost town. It's like this dying, weird place.
I want to see it.
It's interesting. It's pretty far from Omaha. Otherwise, I'd say we can go there when we go to Omaha, but I don't think so.
I'm not taking a day trip.
No. A lot of the people, I guess, many of the people that live in this whole county drive to Hastings, Nebraska. That's where jobs are.
Okay.
It's about 40 miles. And they were, I guess, recently, last 20 years or so, Webster County's done pretty shittily economically because it depends on agriculture a lot. There's a low unemployment rate, as we'll talk about, but also the salaries. Nobody makes shit.
Okay.
So it's not nobody, but it's a
tough go.
It's a tough go of it here. Yeah. Still snow drifts in your cabin, I feel like. It's one of those places. So in Nebraska, they have the Nebraska license plate system. Remember we talked about that? Webster County is represented by the prefix 45 because it had the 45th largest number of vehicles registered in a county when the license plate system was established in 1922.
In the world, or
in the
county,
country, in that county, or that county
had 45th
most in that state.
Oh, okay,
out of the counties.
In the state.
So if there's 60 counties, let's say, they're 45th in registered vehicles, so they get 45 as their prefix.
Okay.
So they came up with this in 1922, and it's still in effect. So that's strange. Webster County, for what I found here. I don't know what this exactly means, but I found this somewhere. Webster County has a predicted average indoor radon screening level greater than 4 PCI/L, which is the highest potential.
That's the most radon that you can possibly get.
Not good.
Yeah,
apparently, the highest
bad.
Potential for indoor radon that you can find, that without people dropping dead left and right, exists in Webster County.
What is radon? Which
poison?
Is it
deadly
really?
shit? Yeah,
really?
Radon is not good. That's I don't know exactly what radon. I'm not going to go into the science of radon, but
it's an
it will fucking kill you. Is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's detected in your house, it's carbon monoxide level bad.
Got it.
Not good at all.
Not to be confused with rayon.
With rayon,
the shirts
that. By the way, there's a
very popular.
One of our live show stories has a something about rayon in it, which is a very weird. Then I was just doing a live show the other night.
How about
now
that?
I'm like, rayon. That's not in this story. That's in a different story. I'm all confused.
Yeah.
Population peaked in 1930 at 690 people.
That's the most.
And then the Dust Bowl came and, kind of dwindled a little bit. And then, up back into the 600s by 1950. And then it's been steadily declining since then. We are down right now to 215 people.
That's not a lot.
Not a lot. Down 13% since 2000.
Wow.
So it is just, from 1950 to 1960, they lost 35% of their population.
Unbelievable.
And then from 60 to 70, another 28% of the population. It's just, there's nothing here, basically.
It's like a sale at Wal-Mart.
It is. It's nothing
they are
left.
Cutting prices.
Yeah,
roll back in population.
Kids' clothes are on sale, boy, and it is slim pickings. The average age here is about 40, so it's a little older than the average. And honestly, it's very much older in terms of the people because they have a thing of most common first names in Guide Rock among dead people. So people that have lived there, that lived there a while and are buried. Because since there's so few people there, you can keep track of this shit. Number 1 is John, then Mary, then William, then George, then Clarence, then Henry.
The old-fashioned shit.
Old, sturdy white people that build shit. Notched logs and shit.
Not
I don't
very
know.
well, apparently.
There are a lot of German immigrants and shit in this town, too.
Well, they build them
They were
great.
sturdy fucking German log builder people. I don't know. So, I don't fucking know.
They're just strong.
They're strong. Yeah. So 52% male this is in this town. There's 111 males and 102 females. Okay. There's so few people that you can do it that way. Yeah.
It is.
And that's what the stat is, even though it said it was 215 people. So I don't know what the other...
Where do those other people come from?
I don't know. Maybe they're... whatever they're claiming. I don't know. They're...
All right, yeah. You got constitutional rights. You can do whatever you want.
Claim whatever you want to be.
Identify as a tree. I don't give a shit.
Doesn't bother me.
I don't give a fuck.
Care what anybody identifies as. You can identify as anything you want.
Go nuts.
That's the same as your name to me. I don't care. What do you want me to call you? I don't give a shit.
I'm good with it.
I don't care.
You still got a name. I'll call you that. I don't care what you are.
But whatever you say, I don't care. What the fuck does it affect me?
You know who cares? Single people that are trying to get laid.
True. That's the thing. I'm not trying to get laid, so I don't care.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care what you got in your pants because I'm not after it.
I don't care what you got in there, and I don't care what you're looking for.
Doesn't matter to me.
Don't give a shit.
That's a pretty good feeling, isn't it?
It's great.
Sorry, everybody out there who is worried and doesn't know how to do this and how to navigate in the world.
That's tough stuff. It's just
you'll work it out eventually.
Listen, I found what I was looking for.
There you go.
That's what it is.
So the married population is less than normal. Normally it's 50-50. Here it's about 41%. The widowed population is double. Yeah. The divorce rate's double. So there's some old people and some tumultuous shit going on, and there's a lot of weird stuff here. I found the race of the town here. There are about 200 white people, and out of the 215,
so fun,
93% or so. There's 11 Hispanic people, 3 American Indian, and two or more race people we have here. So that adds up to 216. Yeah. So I don't understand, and these are all from the same website. So I don't.
That is fascinating.
People come and go and move and ebb and flow. And
somebody counted them; they were just passing through.
That's all. Religion in this town, a lot of religious people. It's about 72% religious, which you're going to find a lot in this area. We got your Protestants is mainly it's over 50% Protestant. They're like, what's the most mild thing we can do?
What's the thing we can barely believe?
Everybody calm down.
Religion.
Everybody calm down. That should be Nebraska's state slogan. Just relax a minute, everybody.
Let's take a step back.
Everybody calm for a minute here. So that's that.
Let's see if we can look at the big picture.
Yeah, let's
the
try.
The big picture.
It's about 20% Catholic. Politically, 78% Republican in this county, 18% Democrat in the last presidential election. The economy here, like I said, the unemployment rate is super low, 2.9%, which is honestly unhealthily low.
And it's 4 people.
Math wise, that's not it's 4 people. That's the thing here. That's really what it amounts to, is like
fucking hilarious.
5 people, literally. Median income here is $37,128. That's household income. Rest of the country, it's about $58,000.
And that's the average.
So that's the average. So it's
somebody
tough.
Makes 50, somebody makes 10.
Well, the 33% of the people live under the poverty line. So that's a third of the population. Quite a fucking bit. Too many, I would venture to say.
What's poverty?
I think that's like
18.
It depends on, for a family of 4. It's this and that, but it's. I figured that's a better stat than just the household income, whether they're under the poverty line.
That's a fucking
shows their actual buying power, rather than just give a stat of they make this much money. Jobs here too. Construction is number 1 by far. Whenever you see number like construction so far out of whack, 34% of the jobs for males are construction.
They're building something.
So that can just mean maintenance too. Yeah. People that put fixing shit in maintenance, and it's even construction is the number 1 job for females in this town. So it's just that's all there is.
Go get it, girls.
19% agriculture, forestry, which it's usually like 1%. Yeah. That's way up there. 15% manufacturing. Okay. Not easy work here. No. This is not a lot
You're literally keeping the town together.
Yeah, there's not with a hammer and nails. Right. There's not a lot
with
of
a hatchet,
notching logs. Not a lot of easy living here.
And they give you a fucking hatchet. Keep
Absolutely.
the shit together.
Cost of living in this town, 100 being par, average, regular. Here it's about 77, but in housing is insanely low. The median home cost here is $22,975.
That is amazing.
That's just ridiculous.
You could buy one with a credit card.
You could buy well, let's find out. If you want to buy, if you have a little room on your credit card, you're looking to move somewhere, we have for you the Guide Rock, Nebraska Real Estate Report. Your average rental here is about $507.
Why would you?
Yeah, what's the point? This first one, it's rough, don't get me wrong, but Jesus, if you put $10,000 into it, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,420 square foot place, $7,000. It's $7,000.
You have to be kidding me.
It's like a 2006 Camry. It's the same price as that. You can't get a 10-year-old Honda Accord for $7,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't get anything that's worth anything.
That's hilarious.
For 7,
it's a
car, a house.
Right.
It's a fucking house with a door. I mean, it's not great.
No,
it's not. It's not.
It's $7,000.
Yeah, it's not a chandelier. Like, I like the backsplash.
Right.
Like, it's none of that shit. But
you could walk there, look at it, and go, $7,000? Really? All right,
crazy. Found a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,296 square foot house. This one's actually like livable. You could move right into it. $53,000. Move right in. It's fine. Then I found a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,738 square foot house.
It's a real house.
And it's a house. I mean, it's like out of date and shit, but $30,000. It's $30,000.
That's our mansion.
That's the house. Yeah. Stretch your legs, everybody. Enjoy.
Holy shit.
Trade in your SUV and buy that instead. I'd like to trade my car for this house, please.
That's 100% comical. There's nothing not funny about it.
The whole thing's awesome. It's crazy. Speaking of funny, things to do.
Yeah.
Stare at the hill.
Yeah.
And stare at the rock there, which really just looks like a hill now.
Count your leftover money because you bought a house for $7,000.
Do some renovation work around your shithole house that you bought for $7,000. Also, the Rockin' G Arena Horse Show.
You bastards.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Sunday, June 17th, it was this year. It's every Father's Day, and they're also thinking about next year, quote, this is from the Facebook group here, quote, I am also thinking about having a 4D barrel/pole jackpot Saturday the 16th. Please let me know if anyone would be interested in doing that. Hoping for it to be approved by some shit I don't know.
Okay.
You got to get there at 7:45 a.m. to register for some shit, but do that.
4D barrel rolling, what was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
4D barrel/pole jackpot.
What is that?
I have no idea what that is whatsoever. But there's no explanation. It's
a barrel pole or pole?
Pole, P-O-L-E.
What the fuck is that?
Barrel/pole jackpot.
All right, if you can't do the barrel, fuck it, girls.
I don't know. Maybe they
get on that pole.
Put money at the top of a pole, and you have to try to climb it like a greased pole. And they go, let's just watch these people try to climb it. Ooh, look at that boy fall. He fell right on another fella's head. That's hilarious.
That I would watch.
That would be funny. So, the judge for something here for the horse show is Dave Burt.
Yeah.
So look out for him. I don't know who that is, but they were prominently displayed. Judge is Dave Burt. So I was like, oh.
He knows his fucking horse.
Hey, boy, I'll said that. Crime rate in this town is property crime is just low. It's just so low. There's nobody to steal anybody, and no one has anything to steal. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, it's fucking low. It's just low. There's nobody fucks with anybody. There's not enough people. If you kill Tom, everyone's like, you were the only one with Tom. There's nobody else here.
Right.
It's just you and Tom. No one else could have killed Tom. So, yeah. But according to some research I found here, registered there's 5 registered sex offenders living in this tiny town.
My word.
5, which makes it a 41-to-1 ratio of sex offenders.
And that is much too high.
That's way too. Yeah, the last week it was 205-to-1, and we were concerned about that. 41-to-1.
That would be bananas in a fucking city like LA.
Every time you go to a movie, someone in there is a kid diddler or some sort of sex offender. I don't know. I automatically think of that.
That's amazing.
And I found in Guide Rock, compared to Nebraska state average, and these are stats on it, below average in median income, significantly below average in house value, significantly low percentage of any sort of minorities at all, or any sort of foreign-born population. Rental rates are significantly low. Length of stay since moving are well above state average, so people just get stuck there forever. Houses are older significantly than the state average. Basically, every positive thing is negative. Well, everything that shows growth is negative. It's all negative growth-wise is what I'm getting at here. And it's number 5 in Nebraska, number 59 on the list of top 100 cities with oldest houses, and number 31 or number 37 on the list of top 101 counties in America with the highest number of deaths per 1,000 residents from 2007 to 2013. So very encouraging statistics here for this town.
This town sucks.
This town is, it's just dying. Yeah. It's just a gasp of a town.
You can literally go and
it's like an old man's fart. It's just kind of like
it's just fizzling out.
Yeah, it sort of smells, but it's kind of like crackers.
You can go sit on the town square steps and just watch the town die all day long.
Watch it disintegrate. Oh, that fell down. Okay. Herb died. died.
Did you hear that? That's a nail falling out of that house.
Cross off the population sign on the population on the sign on the way into town, on the welcome sign.
Rolling it back.
Take Herb off the board. Are we going to retire Herb? So let's talk about a murder that happened here. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Somehow somebody figured it out.
Someone figured this shit out. Let's talk about some people that figured it out, some people involved. Let's start out with a woman. Let's talk about a lady.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Shelley Lynn Budziak.
Yeah.
Okay. Budziak.
Yeah.
Budziak. Shelley Lynn Budziak.
Highfalutin name for this town.
Oh, yeah. She's not a highfalutin lady.
Shelley Lynn.
Shelley Lynn
with that last name.
She's not born here.
No.
She's lived in Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania and rural Tennessee are her main stomping grounds.
Hell yeah.
And then she'll come to this town later, but we'll talk about this here. She's born in 1972. Mm-hmm. She moves about 2011. She decides to move to Guide Rock, which is a strange decision for anybody. I'm going to move to that town. Right. For what?
Nobody talked her out of it? She doesn't have any friends?
Maybe she wanted a $7,000 house. She was like, look, I got 10 grand and I need a house. And I want to own it outright. I'm no payments.
I got 10 grand. I want to be a home owner.
Not even a fucking no mortgage, nothing.
No.
I'm not
paid off.
Partners with no damn bank.
And I got 3 grand left over. That's like 15 years of property taxes.
Yeah, here I can't imagine they would. If your house costs $7 grand, what can the property tax be?
$50 a year, you think?
I don't even know how it could be that. I don't even know how it could be $50 a year. $2
bits a month.
Yeah. Do you have to bring like a tray of muffins to the county assessor or some shit? Like, I don't know what you have to do here. Fuck do you?
Yeah, you'll wash somebody's car or something.
That's what I'm saying. What do you do? I mowed your lawn, Pete. Thank you.
So I think we're square.
We're square on the taxes, right? Yeah, that's no problem. Hold on a minute. I'm going to clean your gutters. My water bill's overdue. I'm just going to clean the gutters and I'm going to take care of that.
Call it even.
Call it even. Fucking weird. So Jesus Christ.
Doing odd jobs. That's hilarious.
So fucked up, man. So strange. So Shelley's an interesting lady here. Shelley, she's born in 1972, like we said. She has a son pretty young.
Yeah.
She has a son around 20 years old, a son named Andrew. This is about early 90s, late 80s. She gets married at some point and changes her name to Casterline. So she becomes Shelley Lynn Casterline.
Okay.
So we'll call her Shelley Casterline for the rest of the show. And she has a son named Andrew Casterline.
Okay.
And as we'll talk about, she has a very spotty record, criminal-wise and everything else. So Andrew coming up had some things going on with his mom and stuff like that. And so finally she gets out of prison in about 2011-ish and decides to take her son, who's now about 20 years old, and move to Guide Rock, Nebraska to start a new life. Starting over.
Yeah.
Right here at the big city. She's like Mary Tyler Moore going, you're going to make it after all, sweetheart. You can do it. I don't know what she's fucking doing here, but she moves there. She has quite a criminal record. Would you like to talk about her?
I would love
record?
to know this.
Well,
what landed her ass in prison?
Well, any of these things. Let's see. Let's start out in 1997, which is kind of the beginning of most of her
25
documented problems here. On April 6th of 1997, charge of theft and theft by unlawful taking movable property.
Yeah.
So that could be a car, something like that.
Could be a TV.
Yeah. April 16th, 1997, which is literally
now.
10 days later, receiving stolen property, 2 counts of that.
Okay.
April 16th, 1998, the anniversary of getting arrested the last time, criminal mischief. January 31st, 2002, acquiring or possession of controlled substances through subscription with misrepresentation. So it's prescription fraud.
Right,
2 counts of that. March 4th, 2004, theft by deception, false impression, bad checks also that day. April 8th, 2004, retail theft, taking merchandise. May 17th, 2004, theft by deception, false impression, forgery. May 20th, 2004, theft by unlawful taking of movable property, receiving stolen property, accessing a device used to obtain property or services without the permission of some shit. Who knows?
Bank account.
Yeah, something like that.
It sounds like
shit.
she's not gainfully employed enough to the lifestyle that she wants to live.
Well, the lifestyle she wants to live has to do with a lot of pills and prescription drugs. July 14th, 2004, theft by deception, false impression, 4 counts of that, 5 counts of identity theft, 5 counts of forgery, 5 counts of bad checks.
That's all pills.
That's all pills. July 21st, 2004, theft by deception, false impression, identity theft, forgery, bad checks. July 22nd, 2004, theft by deception times 2 counts of identity theft, 2 counts of bad checks, 2 counts of forgery. August 25th, 2004.
No, what?
Theft by deception, false impression, identity theft, bad checks, forgery. January 23rd, 2005. Accessing device issued to another who did not authorize use. 2 counts of that. Criminal conspiracy in engaging to access device used to obtain property services, like we said before. Theft by unlawful taking movable property. September 11th, 2005.
What the fuck?
Theft by unlawful taking movable property, forgery, acquiring or possessing controlled substance through subscription misrepresentation./October 30th, 2005, disregarding traffic lane, reckless driving, criminal mischief, recklessly endangering another person, unauthorized use of a motor / other vehicle. This could have been a tractor.
Could have been a jet ski.
It could have been a jet ski down the highway. It could have been
as crazy
literally
as this woman sounds.
Fucking
Jesus.
any. I could see her
a fan boat.
It could have been. She could have been dragging behind a pickup truck in a toboggan for all we know, just for the fun of it. We have no idea.
But here's the question. Here's why prescription pills are such a fucking problem in this country. They have not either thrown her in jail or put her in a program.
No.
And you know what? To their credit, she may not have fucking adhered to any of it. But the point is, she's not doing anything to make herself get a better life. She's just fucking jumping right back into it.
And through all this, she has like a kid, as we talked about. Her son's born in like 1990-ish. Right. So this is like mom when you're 7, 8, 10, 12, 13 years old. This is mom doing this. May 31st, 2008, 4 counts of forgery. March 4th, 2009, she has a court date for a fugitive warrant in Davidson County, Tennessee, and that ends up sending her to prison because she was a fugitive on a bunch of shit that she skipped out on court for I don't know, 50 counts of forgery and bad checks.
For the past 10 years?
For 10 years.
Fuck.
And there was a little bit more, too. I just did the overview.
She's like Eminem's mom.
Yeah. Andrew Casterline should have been Eminem.
Yeah.
If he had any talent.
Kid should have been B-Rabbit.
He was pissed. He's like, fuck, damn
Mom
it.
spaghetti. I said that.
I'm 10 years too late for this shit. Fuck, Mom. You can't even do that right. Can't even have me in time to beat Eminem to the punch. God damn it.
Eminem wasn't even as broke as we are. Fuck. I got ketchup on noodles. That's Mom's
how broke
spaghetti.
I am. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, he would like that probably. I think that's a plus for Andrew. Sounds like for this. She gives him fucking Valium for dinner. Here, honey, I got some pills today. And she just puts them on a plate. And he's like, okay. Tries to break them in half to make them last longer. He's not quite as hungry.
Tells him it's like Willy Wonka. Swallow it. It's a whole 13-course meal.
You'll feel amazing when you're done.
You'll taste turkey and fucking salad and shit.
Or you'll just be sleeping in 5 minutes and then you won't be complaining anymore.
That you taste it.
Either or. So they move. Like I said, she was bouncing around. All these charges were in like Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, in that area, and Davidson County, Tennessee, a lot. Shelley finally, though, she gets out of prison. She's going to go to Guide Rock, Nebraska to start over. And what an opportunity that is.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for her young son who's, in his early 20s. You figure you live in Guide Rock, the world is your oyster at that age. There's big companies to work for, lots of school to take advantage of, all the things, all the wonders. I'm sure, too, 20-year-old girls just everywhere. Hot, fucking hanging out all over the place. They could probably tell you how many girls are in his age range, and it's like 4 of them.
You could probably tell us.
That's what I mean. I think I could.
You got the roster.
I could just look it up. I do. I was going to say we're just going to run down addresses and phone numbers, and fuck it, you guys can give these people a call. So Shelley, she gets out. She had a relationship with. She's not. By the way, Andrew's not her only child. Obviously,
what?
She also has twin daughters as well.
Fuck?
She has more kids. Come on, 3
mouths to feed.
Yeah, I think she's got another one actually too. But the ones I'm positive of are Andrew and twin daughters.
Oh, boy.
Now, Andrew has a different father than the twin daughters. Obviously, this is small town murder. No one has the same father on small town murder.
Why would they?
So yeah, Shelley. I mean, that's fine and all, but it's just a coincidence. It always happens that way. So Shelley maintained what they call an on again, off again type of relationship. Basically, a fucking rocky, back and forth, terrible relationship with the father of her twin daughters.
Right. I love you. No, you don't.
No, you don't. They fight. They break up. They move to Tennessee. They get arrested for felonies. They end up back with each other. You know how it goes. The normal cycle, Jimmy.
Yeah.
How many times have you been in a relationship with a chick and, it's gone, it's off, and you like her, you don't. She's in prison for a while. Right. She gets out, she's, how it goes.
Comes back to smack me awake.
So fucking, it's
back
just
in
typical.
Love. Yeah.
It's almost cliche at this point.
Goddamn Cupid with his fucking arrows.
It is, man. So maybe he was playing the prisoner dating game with us, and that was the problem there. So I guess Casterline here, sure, Andrew and Shelley, they both move in with the father of the twin daughters. His name is Ronald Jemelowski.
Hell yeah.
Yes, Ronald Jemelowski is the name of him, which sounds... It sounds like somebody in Space Jam.
Right.
This is Ronald Jamelowski, and it looks like Detlef Schrempf. He's got like a blonde mullet, and Jordan's got a dunk over him. Ronald Jamelowski. He's like Iron Curtain, like Ivan Drago of basketball, basically. Ronald Jamelowski. I am Ronald Jamelowski.
I see Ding Dong as the last 2 syllables of that last name.
Pretty much.
Jamelowski Ding Dong.
Jamelowski Ding Dong. Ronald Jamelowski Ding Dong.
It's like a Primus song.
Like if Primus made songs in the 50s?
Yeah. Or if they
early
made
60s.
If they threw like a nasty guitar riff behind that. That would be great. That'd be a hit for them.
Have twins go to jail, Jamalama whiskey ding dong.
Whiskey. Jamalama whiskey. Jamalama whiskey ding dong. I will name my dog that. If I get a dog, I will. I'm going to name it Jamalama.
That's great. If you have a ski at the end of your name, just call yourself Whiskey, whatever it is. Jamalama whiskey ding dong.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, God. This story's already ridiculous, so I don't know what you want from me. Jamalama whiskey. So, yeah, Andrew and Shelley moved in with old Jamalama whiskey here. Jamalama whiskey ding dong.
It's so fun.
For a few months.
Yeah.
They live with him for a few months. So right away, not great. Yeah. We're talking small quarters. And also, I'll tell you this, after a few months, she ends up moving out, but moving next door. Because the family owned that house too. Because, houses.
Well, why didn't she just move there in the first place?
Because they were trying to make it, they were in an on again, off again relationship. And in an off again thing, he said, go next door. So
get out. I will.
She moved next door to the property that Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong owned.
Yeah.
Whiskey Ding Dong is definitely a thing. I know that.
Whiskey Ding Dong.
Oh boy. Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong.
3 a.m.
We really put a title on this guy. He has nothing to do with anything so far. So, also Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong's mother, Virginia Barone, lives right there also. Okay. She lives like one house over this way.
So she's got a different last name than her son too.
Nobody's
obviously.
It's small. Ladies and gentlemen, small town murder is never.
Nobody has the same last name.
No, whereas I don't either. Neither do you.
No.
So we're not judging. Trust us. It's
believe
the way
me,
it
that's
is.
my life.
It's just funny that it never seems to work out.
I took my stepdad's last name for like 8 months until my mom divorced that fucking guy.
Like, Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to do that?
Last name, Eschenbaugh. That is the worst last name in the world to have.
It's too long.
Yeah, it's
Pietragallo.
But listen, if I would have kept that last name, we would have been Eschenbaugh and Pietragallo, two of the worst names to tackle any sort of Hollywood.
Nobody would have. Yeah, nobody would.
Well, they'll never find us.
No,
God
they'd never.
Damn it.
Forget those guys. I don't know how to spell anything.
It's hard enough as it is.
Jesus Christ. I noticed, though, on this show, whenever we have multiple members of families and different relationships all living on the same property, even in different, that's never good.
Right.
It's never fucking good.
It always ends terribly.
You need your own space from people. Space is what keeps people sane. It keeps people together.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you could do this.
And especially family. Like strangers, you can live near strangers in an apartment complex and everything gets...
You don't have to talk to them.
It usually goes along, right?
This is your ex-boyfriend who's the mother of your twin kids, and you guys have been fighting, and then his mom lives right there. And
you know too much about each other.
The whole thing's a disaster. Yeah. This isn't like, brother and sister live next door. This is like a bad relationship.
You got ammo in arguments.
Oh, it's terrible. So apparently, not surprisingly, the relationship between all of these people, Shelley Casterline, Andrew Casterline, Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong, and his mom, Ginny, I think they called her, Barone, shit was volatile.
Yeah.
They were always fighting.
Sure.
They're always yelling at each other out the window, and this one comes out, and he goes back up the porch, and this one comes over here. White trash action just going on in the yard.
Sure.
I mean, there's always people, when families are yelling at each other in the yard, that's trashy shit. I'm sorry. Take your shit inside and yell at people. Everyone yells at each other.
Shut your doors like normal people.
Do it inside. Have some fucking pride here. Jesus.
Decency.
Yeah. Jesus. Christ almighty. So they saw each other constantly too. That's the other thing. There's not like you didn't see this one for 2 weeks. Yeah. They're always there. Right. This one lives right next door. She lives right across the way. There's no way to avoid these people. And if you see someone 5 times a day and you never get along, that's bad.
It's a good indicator that you're probably never going to fix it.
Yeah. So Shelley and Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong kept trying to rekindle their relationship.
Oh, Jesus.
They kept trying to. It's fucking amazing.
But he's the father of 2 of the kids.
2 of the kids, but none of them are here. Those kids
really?
Those kids aren't involved in this at all.
The girls don't even do...
I think no, the girls we don't know what's going on.
What the fuck?
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows where they are?
Jesus.
Let's hope it's the custody of somebody who is better than these 2.
Ward of the state is a safe title.
I was going to say, at this point, it's really, is there a humane society nearby? Because I think that would probably be fine compared to this disaster that's going on here. So...
Oh, you don't mean euthanize them. You mean
no. Okay. I mean, I think
in my head, I'm like, Jesus.
No.
Let's start.
I didn't say the pound.
Yeah.
I said the humane society. They'll bring them in, clean them up a little, put them in a cage, put a bow around their collar, and get them adopted out. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm terrible. I'm
give
like,
them some shots.
Let's kill them.
Give them some shots. I mean, if it comes to that, I mean, I don't know how long they have to adopt them, but that's fine.
Point.
If it comes to that, but we can try and adopt them out first. I don't know. Like I said, hose them down, put a red ribbon on their collar so they look fucking frisky, and
so they look cute.
Look at them, ain't he friendly? Look at that. He's biting me. Yeah, but he's got a ribbon on his collar.
Did you see the bow?
It's a bow. Isn't that cute, though? I think you're going to like that. So they kept trying to do this. So they kept trying to rekindle the relationship. They would fight and argue, and then she would go back to her fucking house next door, and they'd see each other and fight and argue. This would get into physical altercations on both of their parts, too. Not that this is ever okay for either one,
right.
But Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong is a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
She likes her prescription drugs a lot.
Okay.
So when you mix these two things together,
right.
and they have a volatile relationship anyway, you end up with fighting.
Yeah.
And he'll get drunk and smack her, and he'll be passed out. She'll come over and wail on fucking him for no. It's bad mixture. These two are a bad cocktail.
Up, so she doesn't even feel the punches anyway.
But she's throwing them back, and she, like I said,
like a bitch.
I'm not saying this is, excusing any domestic abuse
Never.
either way, but this is two people that are actively participating in it together, and it's just terrible. So they're both abusing each other. It's like they need to both get the fuck away from each other here. But instead, let's live next door.
Yeah.
And then try again every once in a while.
We'll try tomorrow.
Yeah. Shelley and Virginia Barone fought even more. Her and his mother. They fought fucking constantly. Her mother, 68 years old, Virginia Barone, constantly fought about money, about, who's paying the bills on this? Is she paying rent? Is this one paying an electric bill? And it's a lot of money stuff, and also about Shelley's relationship with Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong.
Yeah.
That's a problem also, because Barone does not approve of their relationship.
Of course not.
Which, it's too late now. They have twin children at this point.
They're tied together forever.
It doesn't really matter.
At least 18 years.
The guy kind of out of the barn already.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I mean, you can't get you can't uncrack an egg. You know what I'm saying?
Can't.
They have twins.
The yolk's out.
I'm not sure about this. Well, too late. Too fucking late now.
Do you want them scrambled or not? Because I can do that.
We'll take them to the Humane Society.
You got a few seconds.
Humane Society or Pound? Which one are we going here with these? So they would fight about money and everything. Virginia Barone did not approve and was not shy about this at all either. And Andrew Casterline would also get into arguments with his mother.
Oh,
so Andrew but Shelley is the cog in all this. Yeah. There's fights going on, and Shelley is involved in all of them.
She's the big one that's spinning, and there's little ones spinning all around her.
She fights with Jamalama Whiskey Dick. Right. He fights. She fights with her son. She fights with the mother.
Right.
She's the one. Yep. She has problems with everybody.
Yeah.
And then they kind of have problems back and forth, but mainly about her.
Sure.
So it's not great. Shelley's bad to have around. And if I'm Virginia Barone, I'm like, I didn't have twins with this fucking lady. I got to live right by her.
Right.
I mean, if they don't like her, you know what I mean? But then again, also, her son is also an asshole, because what kind of fucking mother is she raising a son who fucking hits women? So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point,
too.
too.
The whole thing's a disaster.
What have you done, Virginia?
That's right. The whole thing's a fucking mess. So, Andrew getting fights with his mother, and he is known to hate Whiskey Dick.
Of course.
Bad. Fucking hates Whiskey Ding Dong. Hardcore. So, October 3rd, 2013, kind of a snapshot of this whole thing here. This is during the early evening, October 3rd, 2013. Andrew goes to Hastings, Nebraska, to run errands with his friend, Trevor Merrihew. He lived across the street from this cabal of fucking weirdness. This other guy lives across the street.
Merrihew's watching the shit through the windows.
He's just watching it. I don't know. Just sipping on his Pabst. Just, I don't know. This is bad. I'm glad they canceled my cable. You know what? I'm glad, because this is much more of the entertaining. This is like live PD. I get cops in here. It's going to be a horror show eventually. I could figure that out. So, he lives across the street from this mess. And lucky Andrew found a fucking friend across the street in a town of 200
no
people.
Kidding.
He's lucky, honestly. Man. They take Merrihew's vehicle because Andrew's is broken down.
Of course.
Because, just because.
Because they don't have any money to fix anything.
Because small town murder. Right. It's just broken down. So, both Andrew and Merrihew were totally hardcore into prescription medication.
Yeah.
They were both abusing pills very badly. And during this trip to Hastings, Merrihew ends up getting arrested for driving under the influence of prescription drugs.
What the fuck?
Somewhere along this year.
Merrihew got arrested?
Yeah, his neighbor there got arrested because they were both driving, and he was the one fucked up driving, all whacked out on pills. So, that's what ends up happening there. So, about 3 a.m. the next day, Andrew calls Shelley and says that he needs a ride home from Hastings because his friend's in jail.
Yeah.
Which is what happened.
Car's
we went out
impounded
there.
and he's in jail.
He's in jail. And I'm fucked up too. They're not going to let me take the car.
Right.
So Shelley woke up Jamalama Whiskey Dong, Ding Dong, and Virginia Barone because Virginia was the only one with a working car out of everybody in this cabal. This is fucking 4 adults, 1 working car between them. No. Fuck no.
Oh, that's terrible.
That is 2 little cars. That's 1 wheel per person.
It's not
enough.
That's a terrible ratio.
It's a bad ratio. You need at least a 4-wheel to 1 person ratio here. It's 2. I'll give you 2 people even. You can share one, but 4 people cannot share 1 car.
2013.
That's
I understand 1942.
This is the other thing I was going to get into. Every once in a while in our show, we have this thing where we're like, forget about what years we're talking about. What year does it sound like we're talking about? Not 2013,
well, no.
right?
4 adults with 1 working vehicle between them.
That sounds like the late 70s, maybe. Like,
at earliest.
Tough times.
At the most recent.
Why have more than 1 car with the gas lines and all? Like, that's what it would be. What with the gas lines? What the fuck?
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ, man. So, so they have to wake up. Now, imagine this. This Virginia lady, hates Shelley. I'm sure doesn't give 2 shits about her shitty kid who has nothing to do with No, about Shelley's kid.
Yeah.
And at this point, she's tired of her son, too. And she gets calls to wake up at 3 a.m. to drive to another town to pick up this lady's pillhead fucking son whose buddy got arrested for being trashed while driving. If you're a 68-year-old woman, you're like, you know what? No. This is why people move to Florida when they're old. You know what I'm saying? This is why they go there. Nobody likes Florida.
No.
We don't want to live there just to get away from you fucking people before you drain the life force out of us. It's what it is. It's the old people arguing. So, they have to do this. They do. Virginia goes, she's apparently going along with the flow here. On the way, Jesus Christ, on the way back to Guide Rock in the car, okay, Virginia driving, I got to set the scene here. Virginia driving, Shelley in the front seat, Andrew the son in the back seat, and Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong with him in the back seat. Men in the back, ladies in the front.
Got it.
Okay.
And Grandma's driving.
Oh,
boy.
So this is
she is chatting.
And she's not happy. It's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's not happy. Apparently a fist fight breaks out in the back seat.
In the car.
Now, this is awesome.
Whiskey Ding Dong and Andrew
Whiskey Ding Dong and Andrew are throwing down in the back seat.
In close quarters.
They're in a back seat of a car. It's a Pontiac.
It's
not a fucking...
Oh, really?
It's not a limo. She has a Pontiac, I think, Grand Prix.
Okay.
This lady.
That is a tiny back seat.
It's not a big back seat.
You can't really cock back.
That's what I was thinking.
You're
You're
whacking
whacking
an elbow
a
on
window.
glass.
It's like Kramer and Frank Costanza trying to play pool in his extra room there. It's not going to work.
Yes.
It's like they can't cock back, so it's basically little blows and then like a headlock, and you're pulling a jacket over someone's head.
It's that fucking plastic
Rock'em
robot
Sock'em
game.
robots. Yeah, it's Rock'em Sock'em, and then mixed with the grabbing and pulling. And you can't. But what is the goal? To throw someone out of the car? You can't hurt someone in that close.
It's a 2-door coupe.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's the other thing. Put your seat up. Move your seat up. I'm pushing your son onto the road while we move. What is the point here?
It's ridiculous.
So that's going on in the back seat. While that starts in the back seat, rather than try to break it up, Shelley and Virginia start fucking bickering and arguing and going back and forth and fighting and jabbering.
It's your fault, bitch.
That's what they're doing. They're going, well, your fucking son, if we didn't have to go pick him up at 2 in the well, your goddamn drunk ass fucking son here, he can't go.
That's hilarious. They're mothering.
Well, they're fist fighting, but no one's breaking anything
See what's
up.
happening? Your boy's a pussy.
You know what this whole area needs? One voice of reason. Yeah. They need one guy to go, stop now. You fucking people are a disaster.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. That's what I should do with my life. If we're ever done doing this,
him out.
That's going to be my goal.
James, on Thanksgiving, you will be booked up.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Jesus
have
Christ.
5 dinners to go to.
I swear to God, I'd be so good at this. You know what else I'd be really good at? And for some reason, you know this, you're my friend. When people come to me with a problem...
You seemed real surprised right there.
No, it's just, I remember...
You're my friend.
You know me. You've known me for years. When people come to me with like a problem, like, oh, I don't know about doing this, I'm really good at fucking breaking through the bullshit and yelling at them and telling them in a way that they don't get offended by it, where they go, yeah, It's a weird talent. It's my only talent in life. I don't know what it is. I've said things to you that...
It's called common sense, where you're just... in the moment, I don't have the thought process.
It's so weird.
Standing out. I'm affected by emotion, so I'm like, James, this happened. You're like... Why the fuck would you do that? You know what? You're right.
It's weird. But I think people could rent me to tell their friends that they're being stupid.
It's called, the business is called, oh, that sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible. No, the business is called, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? That sounds terrible.
That's what this is when everybody goes, James, should I do this? And then you just go, that sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. Back to one. Let's start. But what the fuck are you talking about, first of all? Why would you do this?
There's very few things that are worth doing.
If you break it down logically, people go, you know what, you're right about it. It's a weird thing.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
I've convinced people that they should fucking break up with people that are terrible for them. Everything. Where I'm just like, enough! You dumb shit! If you say it clearly enough, they go, wow, that's really... No one ever put it like that.
Gusto, they go, you know what? This is affecting my life negatively.
That's
You're
true.
goddamn right.
So I'm a half-decent comic. I'm convincing.
Holy shit.
Oh, man. So, could never be a salesman, though, but I could yell at you for things.
That's because you don't believe in the product. When you believe in the product, like, go fuck yourself, you believe in that.
I could be a great reverse salesman. I could talk people out of buying shit. You don't fucking need that. What are you doing? What are you, an asshole?
You could stand at, like, any store and just, somebody's trying to buy something, you grab the pamphlet and you start reading through it and you hand it back to them and go, that sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. You don't want that.
The fuck are you doing?
I'm going to start a Twitter account that's called That Sounds Terrible. And you can tweet me shit and I'll just yell at your friend for you. Let's start with that. That sounds terrible. Is that available? I'm going to look it up
right now. God damn it, I fucking hope so.
I really hope.
Because that's going to ruin this whole show if it's not.
I really want That Sounds Terrible.
This whole portion of the show is going to eat dicks if that's not available.
That sounds terrible. I don't think it's taken. I think I'm good.
You got it?
I think I'm going to be That Sounds Terrible.
That sounds terrible.
There we go. So, someone needs to come in and go, stop.
Right.
You people are fucking stupid. Stop fighting in the car.
Right.
What the fuck are you thinking?
You can't even throw punches. Stop it.
You two can't throw. But what do you... Break that up. Right. There's a physical altercation going on. Break that up, then argue. The fuck is wrong with you guys?
Unbelievable.
So... These people are idiots, obviously. So, at one point, Jesus Christ almighty, at one point, Virginia Barone pulls over and tries to forcibly push Shelley out of the car.
Wow.
That's where we're going.
Her solution?
Her solution is to pull over, not stop.
Right.
Pull over, slow down, and try to fucking shove Shelley physically from the car as Shelley hangs on and her son and mother of her two children exchange blows in the backseat.
Husband. Father of their two children.
What did I say? Husband?
We said what? Mother?
Same thing. Yeah. Who cares at this point with
Product.
this mess?
The one that
Product of this guy's shitty loins. This is what's happening in the back seat. What a fucking mess. If you could see, if aliens were looking from space and saw this, they go, well, we're skipping that planet. No fucking thank you. So,
is that a Grand Prix?
What is happening inside that car? Jesus Christ. We'll wait till that's over and then we'll go down. So they all end up, somehow this ends up being resolved to the point where they're able to finish the ride at least and go back to Guide Rock. Everybody goes back to their respective houses. So 4 people branch into 3 different houses. Just after 9 a.m., Andrew is, I wanted to call him Anthony for some reason. I was like, Andrew Casterline the next day is seen at a bank in Superior, Nebraska, using by the camera equipment turns out to be Virginia Barone's ATM card.
Oh.
At a bank the next morning, 9 a.m. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
A bank employee went outside to service the ATM and saw him standing there, and there was an older white or light colored Pontiac parked nearby.
Okay.
So she later, she knew it was Andrew Casterline, and she said that there was a middle-aged woman sitting in the passenger seat who fit the description of Shelley.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of things in the car, a guitar case and shit like that, like you could see through the window. window.
Okay.
That's all she said. And also she said that Andrew acted, he definitely tried to kind of obfuscate the whole thing.
Okay.
A little bit.
So he was trying to hide the
he was
card
trying
he's got, the money that he's got.
He was trying to kind of just turn away from her and just try to act like he wasn't.
There's 200 people in this town. I'm going to be noticed.
Yeah. So after about 5 minutes, the bank employee said that the woman who was in the car got out and spoke to Andrew, and then they both got into the vehicle and drove away. So that was how that went. There's a transaction history for Virginia Barone's account that confirms several transactions occurred that morning. A debit balance inquiry at 9:18 a.m., which is this time right here.
How much can I steal?
Followed by a withdrawal of $500 at 9:19 a.m.
$500.
That's probably the limit for the day and what you can grab out of your ATM. And there were several more attempted withdrawals over the next couple minutes, but they were denied because there's a $500 daily withdrawal. So they didn't apparently ever deal with banking, these two. The employee explained that you had to have, obviously, the PIN number for the card. So anybody using a card, at the ATM, they assume if they have the PIN number, they're probably authorized to use the card, because otherwise, how the fuck would they know the PIN number? Right. Which is a reasonable. That's why there's PIN numbers.
That's the whole purpose of it.
That's the purpose of it. So, and the PIN number is not retained by the bank. They said this bank destroys your PIN. They don't know your PIN.
That's
interesting. They can reset your PIN for you, and you can do that, but they can't tell you your PIN because they don't know it.
Got it.
Which makes sense.
Great.
Why would you have a list of everybody's PIN number? That seems like information that anybody would love to steal. So why would you want that on hand?
Yeah.
That's just silly. So if somebody loses their PIN, the card must be canceled and a new card must be ordered. It's not possible for them to retrieve a PIN, like I said. So throughout that day, Andrew and Shelley stopped at various places to get more money, including the Wal-Mart store in Hastings, Grand Island and York, Nebraska. So they hit up
3 different Walmarts?
3 different Walmarts in a 3-town radius, where they used Virginia Barone's debit card to make a bunch of small purchases and got a bunch of cash back with debit, because you can do that. That doesn't count as ATM withdrawal. Trick for all you card stealing.
Up to $40. Well, you can get like $100 at Walmart.
Gas stations are like $40 usually, but big stores, they'll give you whatever the fuck you want usually. Between the purchases and the withdrawals, Andrew and Shelley stole more than $2,000 at this point so far. Well, we don't know stole, but probably stole. I can't imagine she'd be like, you know what? Y'all had a tough night. I think you should go on a spending spree. Here's my card. PIN numbers right here. No. Whatever y'all want. First, get a bunch of cash just so you feel comfortable. Yeah. Y'all might want to stop somewhere. You might want to buy some drugs or something like that. So I don't want to hold y'all back. Then from there, just debit everything you want.
I just see Shelley and Mrs. Barone in the front seat betting on who's winning back there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Andrew won.
I was going to say.
So he got the debit card.
I think Virginia lost his bet here. So over $2,000 and nearly emptied her bank account. At 1:30 p.m., they stopped at a pawn shop in Grand Island and sold several things, including a TV, video game system with 13 games, and a guitar amp, which they got $309 for. A TV, a video game system, 13 games, and an amp, $309. Don't go to a pawn shop and sell shit.
They are making out like
just
bandits.
Set it on fire.
Yeah.
It's the same money. You'll get it. So. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure, yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So they end up, they are traveling in the white Pontiac, Shelley and Andrew, on Interstate 80 near Plattsmouth, whatever the fuck you say it, Nebraska. And they're stopped at 7:40 p.m. for a traffic violation. Can anybody drive?
No.
One day without getting fucking pulled over?
No.
I don't understand this. Who gets pulled over every day?
That's a good point.
Every day?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, fuck me. You could be a black guy in the 60s in Beverly Hills driving around. You wouldn't get pulled over every day.
A couple times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a week probably, but not every day. These people get pulled over every day. What is wrong with them?
So much for white privilege in Nebraska.
Well, white privilege, not white trash privilege. It's different. I don't think there's anybody that looks upon them with racial superiority, this particular clan. I don't think you could get the Klansmen in there and be like, that's not what we mean.
That's not a good example.
We don't mean them. No. They're a separate thing that not you.
Can you put them in jail so
You're not
people
invited.
Don't confuse us for them?
You ain't invited to the burning. Sorry. You turned away from a Klan rally. That's how
turned
shitty
away
these
from a
people
cross burning.
Jesus Christ. So the officer who made the stop, he says that Andrew appeared to be under the influence of prescription drugs, which he always is under the influence of prescription drugs. He also observed that Andrew's nails were dirty and he had several nicks and cuts all over his hands. You know, like junkies do when they're doing shit like that. So Andrew told this officer that the vehicle belonged to his grandmother and that she was letting him borrow it to go to his grandfather's funeral in Pennsylvania. Poor guy.
That's a long drive.
Poor grandfather died, and now he's got to drive all the way there, and his bike borrowed Pontiac.
Hates him and refuses to go.
She won't go to the funeral. No, she's too ill, obviously. She's old, very elderly. Very elderly. Yeah. Even though he's 20 years old, very elderly. Just too elderly to move. She can't travel. So the cop says, really? Well, you can't be on prescription medication while you're doing that. So tell you what, you're going to miss Grandpa's funeral. Let's cuff you up and take you in for driving under the influence. And so he does. He's taken to the jail there. Shelley's released because she wasn't driving, but the vehicle is impounded. Because Shelley doesn't have a valid driver's license, so she can't drive away the vehicle. So this vehicle, it's not even theirs, is now impounded, and he's in jail. Okay. And they're like, fuck, now what happens here? So, Andrew and Shelley, once Shelley gets him bonded out of jail, she gets him out of jail, they are escorted by a state patrolman and checked into the Fitzgerald Hotel around midnight in that area. Like they say, go here, once, you can go here and go to this hotel and we'll let you drive there and whatever. So they go there about midnight. The hotel manager said that they paid cash, something they said the hotel would not accept cash normally from anybody they don't know. Right. Literally, the guy said wouldn't usually do that from out-of-towners. Okay. Unless it's somebody I know from down around the coffee shop. I don't want to take their cash.
That's Bill with his hookers.
You know how that goes. I mean, the mayor comes in here with them prostitutes from the city all the time.
Have that shit being tracked.
Well, they're black girls, obviously. That would look bad politically. You know what I mean? Not in this town. You know how it is. Jeez. Oof. Can't take them to the meeting.
Man's got his proclivities, though.
What do you want from me? I ain't going to judge him. So, yeah, he says, but since the policeman brought them there and said, fucking give these two a room, the guy said, I guess I'll take their cash, because normally it's a identification thing, whatever. So, the next morning, though, this hotel manager says that he and his staff were super suspicious of the caster lines because all around their room, quote, reeked of cigarette smoke, and there's no smoking allowed in the hotel. So, at one point, they also asked directions how to get to I-80 eastbound. So as soon as they checked out, the staff entered the room and found cigarettes burning on the carpet.
Wow.
Like cigarettes.
They just flick them on the ground?
Lit cigarettes on the carpet, like smoldering in the carpet.
Jesus.
And the room in disarray. Mm-hmm. Now, what he thought is, the manager of the hotel, this guy is thinking, he says he thought they were trying to set off a fire alarm so they could steal a car. That's what or break into cars while people were distracted by that, but I think it would be more clever to steal shit while they're in their rooms rather than standing outside by their cars, which seems like an odd plan, but he's thinking anyway. So,
he's got a hunch.
He's got something. So, he does manage the fucking hotel in a tiny town in Nebraska. So he's probably, of average anyway, of intelligence here. He's not going to be the greatest detective on earth. Right. We'll say that. So, they end up, the caster lines here left a bunch of receipts behind, and they were collected, and he collected all of them, and he called the police. He told the police that he's going to civilly sue them for the cigarette burns and damage to the room, and he told the police they left walking south with their bags. They never got their car out of impound.
Oh my God.
Because they couldn't, because he was fucked up. So the trooper drove them to the hotel when they bonded out, and then that's how that went, and then they walked away with their shit. Then, about 10 minutes after this guy calls the police, right down the street at the Dollar General, a older model Jeep is reported stolen from the Dollar General. Keys were still in the vehicle. Of course. So, I mean, nobody expects that. This is at 10:38 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Somebody left their keys in their Jeep and got their shit stolen at the old Dollar General.
Oh, that is a shit morning.
That is rough, man. So back to the night before, at about 9:30 p.m., or go back there. Yep. If we remember there that Marahue was arrested and all that sort of thing. Marahue returns home to Guide Rock after being arrested and everything. He discovers upon getting home that his house has been burglarized.
Oh my God.
His shit is gone. Several things were missing, including his TV, video game system. 13 games are missing that he had total. All missing. 2 laptop computers, 2 guitars, and a guitar amp. All fucking missing.
I know a pawn shop that's got that inventory.
It's a real cool. Well, that's good. He can go pick some up again. That's good for him. You know what?
He can replace it.
He can probably get it at a cheaper cheaper price than new. Good for you, buddy.
Who has the worst day? The guy that gets out of jail for DUI and gets home to find all his shit stolen?
That's terrible.
Or the guy that comes out of the Dollar General
to find his Jeep gone with his bag of $4 worth of shit? I'm sorry, $4 that he paid for 8 cents worth of shit. Right. He said, I needed this that badly to have my Jeep stolen. Right. Yeah. Who's having a worse
left
day?
His keys in the fucking Jeep.
I'm going to say DUI guy here.
Probably.
Okay? All his shit's gone. This is no fucking good here. So yeah, he ends up calling law enforcement, and to tell about these items that were stolen because his house has been broken into. The next morning, one of Virginia Barone's neighbors calls the police and requests a welfare check at Virginia Barone's house. I guess she had knocked on the door, nobody answered, but she thought she was there, and it was just a weird thing. So she said, go check on Virginia, make sure she didn't have a stroke or something.
Good call.
Pass out in the bathtub. So a sheriff's deputy ends up going in with a neighbor, and they went outside. The sheriff's deputy met the neighbor who called outside, and outside they found, first of all, her car is gone, which is strange. Several, there's things in the driveway. Her telephone is in the driveway, which is odd. And there's like weird, like possessions, different things kind of strewn about.
A landline
little
phone?
Things. Yeah, like a regular landlines, like just through the touch tone out in the driveway for some reason here. So they enter the home. They find several pieces of furniture broken and knocked over and like kind of trashed, like somebody just trashed the place. At that point, the officer notices a trail of blood leading into a back room, which is not great. And so they approach this very slowly, obviously. And when they get there, they find a big pile of boards back there, like a bunch of wood of different, not even like the same thing. It wasn't a big pile of 2x4s or anything. It was all just random boards and wood piled up. When they move a couple of boards, they find Virginia Barone underneath.
Oh my God.
Dead with obvious multiple stab wounds under there. Multiple stab wounds, several cuts on her fingers, which appeared to be defensive wounds, from trying to block the knife. She had, blood on her face, like droplets, which they thought might have shown that she was breathing after she had been stabbed and breathed out blood, or at least
coughed
through her lips and did one of those, she also so the investigators there, they also noticed a blood stain on the rug in the living room, a shoe in the living room with blood on it, blood smears which looked to be drag marks leading from the living room to where she was found under the board, and drops of blood on the porch area outside the front door. So this looks like it started at the porch, went inside, fucking, a Heathcliff brawl happened where there was a big pile of dust and arms and legs were shooting out of it and furniture was breaking. And then somehow she is stabbed to death and dragged into a back room. That looks to be...
Every time you mentioned where blood was at, I saw John Mulaney go, gross.
Gross. That's so funny. So the autopsy comes. Forensic pathologist conducts the autopsy here, and they rule the death a homicide. Obviously, it would be hard to kill yourself, break all your furniture, and drag yourself.
It's a hell of a suicide
in the back and cover yourself in boards while you have defensive wounds on your hands. You'd have to be a serious fucking schizophrenic to have that happen. Wow.
An investigator gets all the way back there and he goes, I was thinking about suicide till I saw all these boards.
I saw this. I couldn't do it.
It's a lot of boards.
It's like Ed Norton in Fight Club, just beating the shit out of himself. And one of those. So the autopsy also reveals that Virginia sustained 22 stab wounds.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
That's a 67-year-old lady?
68.
That's too much.
That's too many. That's more than 3 a year.
Oh, God, Jesus.
That's 3 a year. That's too many.
So many.
That's too many stab wounds. Varied from 1/2 inch to 8.5 inches in depth.
Holy shit, that's a big knife.
So that's deep.
That's plunging.
That is fucking, you gotta really want that to plunge a knife into a human being that far. It takes effort, That's
it's hard to get that into a watermelon.
I was gonna say, take a chicken and stab a knife all the way through it. It doesn't just go right into it.
A dead chicken.
I don't care. It's a chicken. If you're gonna eat it afterwards, what the fuck is the difference? If you stab it to death, eat it then, please, at least. Don't just kill it and toss it aside on the ground like a psychopath.
There's gonna be chicken farms all over. People chasing people off.
Come on,
get off my property.
No, get a frozen, get a Tyson chicken, put it on your counter, and take a knife and stab through the breast. It's not easy. It's fucking not.
There's bones in there.
There's bones. There's tendons. The skin is tough. Everything is tough, man. The cartilage is in there. The shit does not want to go through.
Right.
Your body wants to repel knives generally. Evolution has made your body not want knives in it. It's really weird. So the angle of the stab wounds also varied. 7 of the wounds were inflicted at a downward trajectory, and 13 were inflicted at an upward trajectory. So it's different knife grips. That's a hacker and a
stabber,
and like a street fighter.
Yeah,
those are 2 different, completely different techniques of fighting. So the pathologist also said that more than one knife was more than likely used to stab Barone, but they couldn't with knives. You can't.
Could have been 2 hands.
You couldn't make that. You know, you couldn't possibly know. That's for sure. They also explained that it's possible for a knife to inflict wounds deeper than its blade's length due to the way the body reacts when it's punctured. She said so it'll come in and it'll actually get deeper than the actual length of the blade. So you can get a 6-inch blade that makes an 8.5-inch depth wound, which is fucking terrible. She said the cause of death was stab wounds to the chest, upper arm, and abdomen, which caused her to loss of blood. There was 20 stab wounds in her chest and torso and stomach, and 2 in the back. So it seems like the 2 in the back might have been the start of the attack. Drag her inside. She's fighting, stab her more, breaking furniture. Finally dies. Drag her in the back. You can see the whole thing unfolding here. It's brutal. Telephone looked like it was ripped out of the wall and ended up in the driveway. Like we said, these were all in the place where she normally parks her vehicle. So not only does her vehicle not being there draw attention, but in its place are things that wouldn't normally be there,
household
like
items.
A kitchen telephone and other things like that. You know, and a 1995 Pontiac car. So beautiful ride right there.
Yeah, it really
it's a great car to fight in the back seat.
It's a good family car.
It's a good car. So during this investigation, out of nowhere, Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong shows up at his mom's house. He pops in, and they get there, and the police snag him for questioning. They go, bye. Anybody that walks in this door with this mess, we're going to talk to him.
You're related? We got questions.
Let's talk to this, because this is trashy altogether. So after they spoke with Whiskey Ding Dong, they identify Andrew and Shelley as suspects here, because he has an alibi, and it's his mom, and he's clearly shaken up.
And he's got a tale of a boxing match in the backseat of her car 6 hours ago.
That one, and all that. So they seem like more likely suspects here. So they learn, the police, by, do some work here, and they learn that Andrew had been arrested the night before. They're like, awesome. And they're like, yeah, but he bonded out. Fuck.
Damn it.
He's fucking gone now. Shit. He was in jail. We had him right there with her car. With her fucking car. Done. So they found out, that's when they said, what vehicle did he get arrested in? That plate? God damn it. Fucking done. So they said, shit.
I saw the guys from It's Always Sunny, and everybody in unison go, God damn it. It's my favorite thing that they say on that show.
I saw Chaz Palminteri on Usual Suspects looking on the board and just going, oh,
what
shit.
Did we do?
Kaiser Sose is a 20-year-old kid whacked out on prescription fucking pills, wandering down a Nebraska interstate with his mom after fist fighting his stepfather in the backseat of a 1995 Pontiac. This is white trash here. So they did say, the police from the other county said that we believe they're probably heading east in a stolen Jeep, if that helps. Okay. We had a Jeep get stolen, so we think they probably did it. We haven't found them. I mean, we're not going to look for them or anything. We took them to a hotel. That's all we can do. So police end up being able... Up until right now, this sounds like it happened in 1987.
Yeah.
Up until right now, up until I say this sentence, police were able to track Shelley's cell phone to a location near Newton, Iowa.
Unbelievable.
Besides that, this could have been any time ever. So... fucking weird. So the Newton Police Department know of them now, and they're trying to look for them. And they receive a call. The Newton police officers receive a call to come to the Newton Wal-Mart at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday to investigate the theft of a purse from a patron in the parking lot. So upon arrival here, they talk to the victims of this theft, of a mugging, and they say, quote, the victim said the male suspect approached them asking for directions, and while giving the suspect directions, he grabbed her purse. The victim, upon trying to retrieve the purse, was met by a female who brandished a knife.
Oh.
So we're talking about a man and woman combo, both armed with knives. Sounds familiar.
They're good for another crime.
That sounds familiar. Apparently, then they were while this was happening, they were then people in the Wal-Mart parking lot saw it was going on and said, "Hey, fuck that, let's get them." Mm-hmm. And they chased the Castor lines the fuck away.
Wow.
They chased them. They ran and got in their Jeep and took off because they were literally being chased by angry villagers.
Awesome.
Which is did you see this week what happened in Philly?
I did.
That is the greatest fucking
story
thing
ever.
Okay. Not into vigilante justice in terms of like when it's cold-blooded, when it's like he's been in jail, let's all rip his head. That's a different thing.
Right.
But when someone kidnaps your kids and steals your car and you chase them and catch them in the act
and beat them,
you can beat them to death at that point.
Yeah.
You got to beat them till they stop moving. They stole your kids and your car, and that's fair fucking game at that point. If it's just your car, you call the cops.
Yeah.
That's a GPS thing. I'm not chasing you for a car.
Let that
if
be
my
a lesson
kids are
to
in the
you.
car,
Yeah.
you have crossed all lines at that
Absolutely.
point. You've crossed all
Let
lines.
that be a lesson to you, kidnappers and people looking for kids. If we catch you,
and
it's not going to end well.
And I love Philadelphia because Philly, the
That's
whole
brotherly love.
the whole neighborhood was like, "Oh, we're kicking somebody's ass." Oh, this is a morally justified ass
we
whooping.
can kill somebody.
Fuck yeah! I kicked that kidnapping motherfucker. I love Philadelphia. So if there's ever like when we're performing in Philly, if there's ever like a kinship between like performer and city, I've never felt it more than when we're in Philly.
Philly's so good.
Someone can say something from the audience and I can go, "Shut the fuck up," and they will cheer.
And everybody goes, "Yeah, bitch!"
Like
shut
I
up.
won the lot. Like they just all individually won the lottery. They'll go, "Yeah!" And I'm like, "This is the greatest town I've ever been in my life. I fucking love it here."
They're all going, "Yeah, bitch, that sounds terrible."
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Why would you do that?
Why? So, Jesus Christ. So they end up fleeing the scene in their stolen vehicle. They're chased by citizens, and eventually they are caught by the Iowa State Patrol on Highway 80 east of Newton and pulled over, and they give up then. They're taken to the Jasper County Jail, and they are at this point facing charges of first-degree robbery based on the Wal-Mart incident, obviously, and their stolen vehicle and everything else. The police said, quote, "The stolen vehicle is being investigated by the Iowa State Patrol. Both suspects were wanted for questioning regarding a homicide in Nebraska, which is being investigated by Nebraska State Control." So, when they're found, when they search Andrew, they find $322 in cash, several Walmart and ATM receipts, and still had Barone's debit card in his hand, which is pretty incriminating.
It's dangerous.
Shelley had over $2,000 in cash in her purse.
She's still got it.
She was running, man.
How did they bond out and still have all that money?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the bond. I think it was $250. It was a low bond because it was his first offense.
Very much.
It was
like
Andrew's first offense.
Very much like taxes. She just had to go clean the.
I was going to say. I think they asked if you could just wipe down the sinks in the bathroom. Then we'll just let the kid out. I think
you
that's
wipe
equivalent.
the wheels on the fleet of police cars. There's only 3 cars.
If you get under the wheel wells with the hose because the salt gets up there in the winters, we really want to knock that down and keep the rust off. If you could get on that,
that's your bond today.
Terrific. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and let him out. Hey, let out. Yeah, open cell 2, and they just have one big key on a ring. You can get the dog to bring it to you. You're safe. It's one of those. So
what was his bond? 12 wheel wells.
12 wheel wells. That's fine. That's good. Get out in the parking lot. So they also searched the Jeep, and in the Jeep they find a bag with Marahue's name on it, which is pretty incriminating. 2 laptop computers.
What the fuck?
Guitar.
They still
also,
have that.
And a knife with a 4-inch blade inside the glove box. They find there. The owner of the Jeep testified that none of the items were in the Jeep when it was stolen from him in the parking lot. Now, Andrew,
good story.
That's a good, yeah. I didn't do
That's
shit.
not my shit.
Hey, my shit. You kill people, leave all the evidence in the car, leave the keys in the ignition, and just go in the Dollar General and wait. That's how you get away with murder. Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch.
Now you're a murderer. Fingerprints all over that shit. Ha! That's how you get away with murder. I don't know. My car got stolen yesterday.
Look at me.
Beats the fuck out of me. They must have taken my car and went and killed my wife with it. Super weird. What a coincidence. These people, they'll never stop taking from me. Oh, God. Oh, Lord, how long? Oh, how long, Lord? Will it keep happening? Oh, my car wasn't enough. It killed my wife. Jesus Christ.
That's genius.
So, yeah, they're arrested. They're taken to a detention center in Idaho. That's what, they just took them on a long trip.
The fuck out of
in Iowa.
To the other
out
side
of our
of the
state.
country.
Get in the Northwest. We don't want you anymore. At the time of booking, they observed several injuries on the two suspects. Mm-hmm. Shelley had a bruise on her right arm, some small scrapes on her right wrist and index finger, and Andrew had a bruise above his eye, cuts on his thumb and the fingers of his right hand, and an abrasion on his forearm, also dried blood on his right palm. Uh-huh. So they have cuts and
he
dings.
Hasn't even washed his hands?
No, well, or he's got cuts too that are because when you stab people,
his own blood.
That's what ends up happening here. So the next day, obviously, the interviewers down here in Webster County are pretty curious to have a chat with them about all this. They do. Andrew and Shelley are interviewed by investigators the next day. Shelley, they get her and she says, for Virginia Barone, that's Jamalama Whiskey Ding Dong's mom, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is she okay? Everything good? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, she's dead. She was, oh, wow.
Holy shit.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible. No, she's not. That's awful. And they said, no, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's like a whole shitload of like evidence and stuff. We have knives and we have all sorts of shit basically that we could really, do like that. And so she sat there and she went, You have evidence, huh? And they went, yeah. And she went, all right, I killed her.
You say you've got what? Oh, evidence.
Oh, evidence?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I did it.
It's like, that's what she did. She was like, all right, yeah, you got me. I did it. They were like, oh, that was surprisingly
that was
easy.
easy.
Yeah, they were like, oh, that was, wow. Okay, well, see?
Yeah.
Don't do that again. We told her.
Yeah.
She knows. But she also claimed Andrew had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
I did it.
Take the credit.
All on my own.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Andrew. Well, she's been a shit mom, it seems like, her whole life, in and out of jail and getting arrested all the time. You couldn't have been a good mom if you're on prescription drugs in and out of jail. Mm-hmm. It's hard to be a good mom at that point. So, she's trying to cover for him at this point. She told investigators that when they got back from Hastings, she and Andrew went to Virginia's house, and they all got in an argument. She said that Virginia was blaming Shelley for Whiskey Dick's problems, Whiskey Ding Dong's problems, at which point Andrew told Virginia to shut up or he would knock her out.
Oh.
Shut up, you old bag, or I'll knock you out, which is a fucking weird thret for us to lay on a 70-year-old lady, 68-year-old lady. Knock you out?
Big tough dude.
You're an old lady.
Right.
No, don't threaten to knock out old women. Yeah, some of them are mouthy. Fine. You just walk away. They're slow. They can't catch you. You'll get away from their voice eventually, and you can.
A 70-year-old woman today has put up with
forever.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Betty White has
let her fucking bitch.
So many horrible things. Let her say whatever the fuck she wants.
Go ahead. So Shelley said at this point, because she was so mad that it was now escalating between her son and Virginia, that she grabbed a knife, Shelley did, and started stabbing Barone, and just stabbed her up. And then she said, I don't know how many times I stabbed her, but then I dragged her into the other room and I covered her with boards because I don't know. That was the stupidest thing I could think of to do, because it really threw everybody off for about 10 seconds till they followed the trail. Why would you do that?
That pile of wood is it bleeds a lot.
They're going to be super confused for like 4 seconds till they see the trail of blood and follow it. What the fuck? I don't know. I can't find the body. There's a pile of boards in here, but no body. I got nothing as far as a body goes.
Boards that are just bleeding. It's gross.
It's pretty gross. I think it's very sappy. Don't use maple. I told you. Oh, what are you doing? So this is fucking ridiculous. Obviously, she said that she definitely killed her. She dragged her into the other room, covered her with boards. She said that she says she knows that that she's taking the blame. She said she basically said, "Yeah, I'm taking the blame for my son." And they were like, "Why are you taking the blame here? You're just taking the blame." She's like, "Yep." Like, you can say that, but I'm still doing it. Like, that's fine. I know what I'm doing at that point. So when Andrew was interviewed, he said that he and Shelley had nothing to do with Barone's death. Neither of them. Yeah. He said that he didn't even know Virginia was dead.
She's dead?
He's like, she's dead?
Crazy.
That sounds terrible. Jesus. That's awful.
Yeah.
My God, I had no fucking idea.
Don't do that.
What? That poor lady.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I hope nobody knocked her out first. That'd be the worst.
Yeah.
So he said, then they talked to him a little more. So then later he admits that he was at Barone's house when Virginia and Shelley got into an argument, but he claimed he went home during the argument and didn't know what happened. He goes, they're always arguing. I said, I'm not going to I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going to play my stolen video games now. So later on, however, during the interview, this is fucking amazing. Later during the interview, Shelley began screaming from another room that she killed Virginia, which this is fucking amazing. This police station is so small that the interview rooms can be fucking heard by each other.
So
Literally,
she's trying to get him to hear her.
She's yelling. Yeah, she's yelling to him because it's a small station with thin walls. You can hear people. So she's yelling to him. This isn't how it works like on The Wire when they take people in separate interrogation rooms. And this one said, this isn't how this works.
This is amazing.
She yelled that I killed her. And so he says, my mom killed her. I've changed my mind here. She said that, she's screaming that. And Andrew stated that Shelley did it, but he said, I still had nothing to do with it. But apparently, according to her, she did it. So investigators go, let's take some DNA off of everything and everybody just to make sure.
Because it's 2013.
Because it's not 1985. So they take DNA testing on the knife found in the Jeep and the clothing that both Shelley and Andrew were wearing when they were arrested. They compared those to the DNA samples that they had and all of that shit. They located DNA on the blade of the knife and 3 pieces of clothing. Andrew's jeans, Andrew's shoes, and Virginia's sweatpants. Also, DNA on the knife was a mixture of 2 people, with Andrew being the major contributor, but everyone except Shelley being excluded as the minor contributor.
Really?
So Andrew and Shelley are the 2 contributors there because of blood on their hands from doing that. The DNA on Andrew's jeans tested positive for blood. It was a mixture of 2 contributors, with Barone, Virginia, being the major contributor and Andrew being the minor contributor.
Son of a bitch.
Stabbing and bleeding. The DNA on his shoe also tested positive for blood and matched the DNA profile of only Virginia Barone. The DNA on Barone's sweatpants was inconclusive as a major contributor, but everyone except for Andrew, Shelley, and Virginia were excluded. So those 3 were there. All of them bled. All of them were involved in this.
Unbelievable.
That's what this says here. So they go, great, both charged with murder.
Yeah.
You say you did it. Terrific. Even though all the physical evidence says he did it, we'll charge you both.
Done.
One says he did it. One, we have proof they did it. So you both fucking did it.
Rocked
there you
up.
go.
Done.
There we go. Andrew goes to trial. There's a letter allowed in that he wrote that he objects to. It was received into evidence during the testimony of the chief jailer in the detention center here. The jailer testified regarding the policy to monitor all mail unless it's attorney-client communications, blah, blah, blah. They scan the mail for inappropriate materials. They obviously look through prisoners' mail, and they document the incoming and outgoing mail in the computer database. The letter in question was documented as an outgoing mail. It was a printout from the database entitled their activity log they received into evidence here. It's got Casterline's full name, this is Andrew, full name, inmate number, jail cell number, and it reflects that he mailed this letter to Jamma Llama Whiskey Ding Dong on October 10th, 2013. So this is all... It's him sending it.
Absolutely.
It's everything that could be there. In the letter, this is his letter. This is a letter that he writes to his...
Whiskey Dick.
His stepdad, I guess. He says, quote, "Hey, Ronnie, this is AJ writing you." AJ is what he goes by, is Andrew James Casterline. "For what reason, I don't know. I never did like you because of the way you treated my mother." No punctuation in there, by the way. The period at the end, but no commas at all. "You are an alcoholic, but it's okay to be. You spent 12 years in prison. Well, me and Mom are locked up because she needed money in a car to get away from you. That is how much she hated you. But anyways, I'm getting some blame for her mistakes." No punctuation in any of that. "I have just heard what happened to your mom, and I'm so sorry. I couldn't imagine losing mine. But the cops are trying to blame me for that, but you know who really did it. I am writing you with sympathy." I imagine he means sympathy. Sympathy, because I care about you and want you to write back. I still consider you a father. Didn't he say I didn't really like you in the beginning? He just said I never really liked you. I don't know why I'm writing this.
My mom hates you.
"And when I get out of jail, I would like to move back to Guide Rock, Tell Trevor my mom is the one who took his stuff. You know how she is. You know how she is. That's the guy, his friend. And tell Trevor I don't want to lose his friendship, and tell him he can write me too. He is like my brother. You barely know this guy. Right. Candy and Sam won't talk to me on the phone. Can you send me their addresses and give them mine, please? Well, Ronnie, I'm going to leave it up to you to forgive me, but please forgive and write back. LOL, put down that bottle. What a weird thing to say after you just asked for forgiveness for murdering his mom. Sorry I killed your mom. LOL. Drinky pish McBooty pie. What are you doing there? You put the booze down with your beer koozies.
A murderer's judging an alcoholic.
He just apologized. Sorry we killed your mom. LOL, put that bottle down. What the fuck is that?
Stop drinking, you dirty bastard.
Wow. Jesus. And don't forget to tell Trevor and everybody how sorry I am for mom's mistakes. Mm-hmm. You know I'm not that person. So take care of yourself and pay your bills. P.S. Send me a picture of my sisters and mom.
I got a lot of things I need you to do that I'm going to ask you to do after I tell you I don't like you.
After I tell you I don't like you and I'm real sorry we killed your mom. Can you make a bunch of communications for me?
I got a list.
You know anyone who sells mescaline? Because I've really been looking for it. Like, what the fuck?
What's he doing?
What is he doing? So at his trial, Shelley testifies for the defense. Because that's a good defense. Yeah. Someone going, he wasn't there, I did it all on my own. It's a decent defense. It's not, OJ would have loved to have that person as a witness. OJ would have loved to have like some Colombian drug dealer going, they owed me much money and I had to cut their throats. He would have been like, see?
I told you.
Fucking A, man.
Look at his little hands.
Look at him.
I bet they fit a glove.
Fucking a medium. So Shelley testifies for the defense. She testifies that she alone killed Virginia and that Andrew had nothing to do with it. She says that shortly after they arrived home from Hastings, she walked into Virginia's house with the intention of receiving her cell phone, which she had left in her car. By the way, pause real quick, not as the recording, but pause this story real quick. How much do you see this as like a drunk history episode? Like all of these different fucking like things happening, like all of the different... Go back, rewind. No, this is this story of these people. It's fucking insane. So anyway, but just like a over and over again, like a weird
and changing the whole,
overlapping like Pulp Fiction and shit. It's just a weird.
It changes the whole outcome with just a little layer.
It's like a Seven Samurai thing, except with the same person seeing it all these different ways, not different people seeing it different ways. Just all Shelley's different views of the crime. So she said that she went to get her phone, which she left in Virginia's car. She said her and Virginia got in an intense argument that was just about to turn physical. At that very moment, Andrew walked in the house looking for Shelley when it was just about to turn physical. Shelley told Andrew to get out of the house, which he did, she said. He complied and left. She then grabbed a knife and stabbed Barone multiple times, she said. She said then Andrew came back into the house and saw Virginia lying on the floor. Shelley said, quote, I stabbed her in the back first, blacked out in rage. The next thing I remember, my son is in the doorway saying, what are you doing, Mom? Yeah. So that's what she testifies.
What are you doing? This sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible. No. She said that she tossed the knife into a cornfield, which is a very Nebraska way of disposing a murder weapon. That is not bad at all. That's like, Jesus Christ, that's like being in Alaska and sticking it up a bear's ass or something. I stuck it up a grizzly's ass. Okay.
I threw the gun at the Ford plant in Detroit.
It's so fucking stereotypical. I Gatorade it. I don't have to tell you where that is. So anyway, I think one place with people that are like, I'll live among gators. That's fine. The world, it doesn't want you, Florida. The land doesn't. First of all, it sinks below your very feet. It's barely land. You move to a place with quicksand. Remember that in cartoons? It's not good. It's just the land's half mush.
It's the indicator that nobody should be there is when you put a pool in the ground. You have to do specific things to the ground, or the plaster will float up.
Yeah, it's horrible.
What the fuck?
Not to mention ungodly, terrible insects, literally gators, deadly animals, weird snakes. The earth literally tries to blow you off 8 to 10 times a year with wind and rain and everything else. They don't want you.
And if you're a decent person,
doesn't want you.
You also have to understand that all the indecent people in America live in Florida.
And also, I mean, we live here, and it's 113 degrees outside today, but Florida's got the, what's it called? The
hurricane.
No.
Humidity.
White trash.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it's got. Never mind the heat. Sorry. Had to set you up for a cheap one on that one.
It's good.
Whatever.
Pretty solid.
Whatever.
I mean, Louisiana's got gators too.
Yeah.
And they got mosquitoes the size of a fucking
horrible.
Buick.
Yeah, no one's saying Louisiana. Louisiana, you're not off the hook here. You're not
but
doing
those
any better.
people smile about it.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're like, you believe this?
Because they're actually from there, most of those people. They're like, I don't know. It's been going, we've been living here for generations. It's crazy.
Like,
weird, right?
They keep the mosquitoes from biting by like smearing the mud on them.
Yeah.
But people in Florida, they just like, they
because they're all from fucking Long Island in Florida. They don't want to be there. They didn't. It's not
flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah, they're out of their element.
Florida.
So she said she tossed the knife into a cornfield, and then she said
tonight's going to be great.
It's terrific. It's going to be wonderful.
The next 2 nights we're going to have so much
fun. They're awesome. I love it. Yay, Florida. So. They know it's Florida's terrible.
They know.
They're good. It's not our people.
There.
We love the people who are listening to the show. They're listening in spite of being in Florida. You know, good for you. So she then decided to drag Virginia's body into another room and convinced Andrew to help her, she said, because she couldn't drag her alone. Shelley then, she said she then told Andrew to pack his things because they were leaving town. She says she admitted that before they were leaving, she went to Mariu's house and took several of his personal items of personal property and then left town in Virginia Barone's Pontiac. Yeah. She also admitted they used Barone's debit card to obtain money at ATM. I mean, it's hard not to admit it when people saw you and it's on camera.
And it's in his wallet still.
Again, it's still there. Right. So, and you have receipts that you used it, you know.
And you have all that cash fucking in your pocket.
Yeah, you know, she admitted doing cash back transactions at 3 Wal-Mart stores in central Nebraska. Also at trial, though, several details of her testimony were inconsistent with what she told investigators when she was arrested. Yeah. So, for example, she testified at trial that Andrew was not at Virginia's house when she stabbed Virginia, whereas before she said that he was there during the killing. She testified that he helped her move the body after the stabbing, but beforehand, in the prior interview, she said that she'd moved it alone. So beforehand, she just, in both cases, there's a stabbing and a moving. Right. And each one, she put him in one and not in the other, but in each story, he's involved in one of them. Yeah. There isn't one story where he's there for the stabbing and the moving, but and then in the other story, he's not there at all.
Got it.
He's either there to help, to watch the stabbing or to help the body moving. Yeah. So she's putting him in somewhere. She also testified that at trial, she testifies that she took Virginia's ATM card and called the bank to get the PIN, whereas in the prior interview, she said she knew nothing about the use of her ATM card and that investigators would have to talk to Andrew about that. Now, she acknowledges several of the inconsistencies on cross-examination, but she stated her trial testimony was the truth and that she must have been misremembering during the prior interview, having to do with being under the influence of prescription drugs at the time. She was all whacked out. So on cross-examination here, she says she did write a letter to one of her daughters stating that 2 knives may have been involved in the murder, because she did. They have this letter. Her daughter ended up turning it in, but claimed at trial that this was not true and that she was just misremembering what happened.
She misremembers a lot.
She's very cloudy with these pills. It's she takes pills. She doesn't know. She stabs people. Where's the knife? How the fuck do I know? I'm only the stabber. What do I know where I put knives? It's very difficult. She said she told her daughter that Virginia struck Andrew. That's what she said in the letter, that's how it started. It was Virginia hit Andrew, and then she jumped in with the stabby stabs.
Got it.
But she claimed at trial that wasn't true, and she just lied to her daughter for no reason in a letter. I guess to justify the killing, she's saying, well, I had to tell her that she attacked Andrew, so that way it would make more sense. So Shelley says that also she wrote a letter to her daughter, who in turn wrote to the daughter that then wrote to Andrew about there being blood on him because Shelley made him move the body, but then Shelley denied that she was attempting to coordinate the testimony, because they were like, you wrote a letter to your daughter and then she wrote a letter to him saying what testimony you wanted him to do. You made a letter triangle of testimony. You're not allowed to do that. Right. And she said that's not what she was doing. She was just talking to her daughter. How dare you? Right. How dare you even accuse me? Do you know? I mean, yes, I'll I'll kill a lady, I'll move her body, I'll steal cars, or I'll mug people in the street, I'll break into their houses and steal shit, but I'm not a liar. That is where I draw the line. How dare you? How dare I'm a Christian woman. I put my hand on this Bible, damn it. And that's as good as gold in this courtroom, mister. I'll be stepping down now. Thank you very much. Imagine if that worked.
You can trust this.
They're all like, oh, sorry.
Well, she did admit to fucking murder.
That's true. Well, let's find out if it worked. Okay. Verdict for the jury here. They come back. He's charged with murder. He's charged with robbery. It's burglary and use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony. And, of course, murder. And he is found guilty of all of these charges, despite his mother saying no. And the judge sentences him pretty good here. You, sir, may fuck off. He is sentenced to consecutive life terms of imprisonment.
Wow.
For first-degree murder and 49 to 50 years imprisonment for use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony and 19 to 20 years imprisonment for burglary.
All consecutive.
So basically like 5 lives of worth of prison.
Wow.
He's got to serve here.
That's heavy.
That means they said, nope, he was there. He stabbed 2.
Mama's a bullshitter.
Yeah, everyone's guilty here, and we're not letting him off the hook. He didn't offer a statement, but his lawyer told the judge that, quote, he regrets very much what happened. Yeah. The defense lawyer also said that there's no direct evidence that his client killed Virginia Barone, and the crime spree that followed was driven by a fierce loyalty to his mother. You can't expect a young man to not be loyal to his mother in a time of need.
He's a mama's boy.
You can't expect that. And all he would say, Casterline, would be yes, sir, no, sir, when the judge would ask him direct questions. He also said, his lawyer did, that his client didn't want to make a statement for the pre-sentence investigation because of their plans for the case. He said, quote, my instructions from my client are to file an appeal, and we are already in the process of getting that done. So they want to appeal.
Sure.
Would you appeal that?
Go nuts.
You have to, right?
I mean,
you have to appeal if you're in for life.
Yeah.
Especially with all those sentences. What do you got to lose?
Right.
It's not like you got 10 years.
What, are they going to just say no?
No. All right, great.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
But you kind of just got to go, I kind of got caught on this one. In your mind, you're like, ooh, they got me.
I don't know. Getting out at that point is like seeing a hot chick. You got to at least ask.
You got to give it a shot. Yeah, you got to give it a shot.
Would you like my number? No? All right.
No, I'll keep it then. Never mind. So, he said that they're doing that. His lawyer also said he's already pinpointed a few issues that could warrant an appeal, but he's not going to share them now.
No?
He's got them hiding.
Okay.
He says that the prosecutors say the verdict was just. They called Casterline Andrew a dangerous person while they were asking the judge for the maximum sentence on the lesser counts to be served consecutively. They said, quote, she died in a graphic and horrible manner, and showed pictures of her dead in a graphic and horrible manner. Judge ordered the consecutive sentences, like we said, citing the brutal nature of the crime, the fact that Barone was left alive after being stabbed 22 times. She bled to death in there, remember. That wasn't, they didn't sever anything. She just bled out in there under these boards. And Andrew's probability of committing a crime again as factors in the decision.
Yeah.
He's clearly not all with it,
no,
I would say.
Not.
He's got problems. So before the sentencing, though, the judge did ask prosecutors from the Attorney General's office what a life sentence means these days, alluding to the states they have prison overcrowding and shit like that.
And shit.
Yeah, they assured him that it meant Casterline's entire natural life. So they said, quote, I wasn't surprised at the sentence that my client received, this is the defense attorney, other than the maximum sentence for the use of a weapon and weapon charge and the burglary, but it was fully prepared. But he was fully prepared for what happened today. It's justice for the victim, Virginia Barone. So they're saying, obviously she doesn't have a voice here today, but I do feel like it was a clear and just sentence, is what the district attorney said in response to the defense. Shelley goes to court now too. She pleads though.
Yeah,
there's no trial. You don't want to get her in front of a judge with that. Get her in front of a jury, read off what, if she wants to say she's a decent person, then you can bring up character shit and you can bring off that list I read off to you of what a shit person she is in general. Yeah. And then you can go from there into all the evidence and everything else. So Shelley ends up pleading guilty in 2014 to second-degree murder. That is punishable by 20 years to life there. And the judge sentences her, let us find out here, you, ma'am, may fuck off. Life in prison.
Really?
For her, too. Yeah, she got life, too.
Yeah.
Maximum on it for her.
Without?
She appeals, without. Okay. She appeals her sentence and gets nowhere with it. But prison, she gets prison. Yeah. But other than that, her only appeal was that the prison sentence was too long, which isn't really, there was no reason for it. So they were like, I don't know what you're appealing. Yeah. Andrew has some different things, though. Yeah. He's got an appeal based on a few things here. One, finding sufficient evidence to sustain his convictions for first-degree murder, because he's like, that's not... Yeah. There's no evidence that said all that blood could have been there for me helping drag the body. Okay. The person who admitted to stabbing her said that's what I did. So why the fuck are they convicting me?
Yeah, but you were there, bro.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
You knew
You're
it was
in the car, sir.
You knew it was
Come on.
So also admitting into evidence without proper foundation, which was a letter that was written by him to his stepdad there, the I hate you, you're my dad shit.
Right.
Also admitting in evidence the knife that was found in the Jeep that they found that they were stolen when they were apprehended, and improperly instructing the jury on elements of first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and manslaughter by adding language that Casterline was guilty if he acted, quote, either alone or by aiding another, and refusing his proposed element instructions. So, sufficiency of the evidence. We'll go through this shit quick. He says, obviously, not sufficient evidence. He's charged with first-degree fucking murder. They go over to be first-degree murder, you have to, 1, purposely and with deliberate premeditated malice, or 2, while in the preparation of a robbery. If a person commits a robbery with the intent to steal, he forcibly and by violence or putting fear takes from the person of another any money or personal property or any value whatever. So that's robbery, and that's murder is what they do.
It's
here.
Justified.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So to find him guilty of the weapon, the deadly weapon, state has to prove that he either alone or by aiding another knowingly, intentionally used a deadly weapon to murder, which clearly, if he did the murder, it was with a deadly weapon, unless he's real good at poking.
Yeah. That's a hard finger.
You'd have to really get your poke on. The jury was instructed in this case that it would convict Casterline of these crimes as either the principal offender or as an aider and abetter. Mm-hmm. They said either way, if you think that he didn't lift a knife, but he helped his mom and all, then he's still guilty. Yeah. That was the jury instructions. So that was the big either or was the big problem that they had. They said, a person who aids, abets, procures, or causes another to commit any offense may be prosecuted and punished as if he were the principal offender. Now, they say here, a rational trier of fact could conclude that Shelley and or Andrew used force and violence and fear to obtain Barone's car keys, debit card, and PIN at some point. They had to get her PIN. Yeah. They brought because Barone said, I called the bank and got the PIN. They called the bank people in to go, we don't fucking have the PIN. That's why I brought that up. We don't have the PINs. Right. So if she got a PIN, it's from Virginia Barone. Yeah. No one else fucking has it. So they had to intimidate her into giving up the PIN.
Horrible. So
that's fucking horrible. Yeah. This was not just a sneak attack or anything. They had to try to muscle her. Yeah. Strong arm her here. The testimony from the bank employee says that's impossible. So the evidence supports the finding that Andrew aided and abetted or used force to obtain this PIN number. They think he was there, and if he was there, he at least aided and abetted.
Absolutely.
The evidence is sufficient to support a finding that Andrew, either by alone or aiding Shelley, killed Virginia during the commission of a robbery. Casterline argues there's no evidence that he intended to rob Barone until after the murder had been completed by Shelley. Even if that was true, it wouldn't absolve him of liability for felony murder. So go fuck yourself. The death occurred during the perpetration of a robbery because the act that killed her, the stabbing, was closely connected in time and place with the robbery. It's all one continuous act, and that's first-degree fucking murder. His conviction for use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, it is the 22 stab wounds, varying from a half-inch to 8.5 inches, were inflicted at 2 different trajectories, suggesting that more than one knife was used. When they were apprehended, officers located a knife in the vehicle, and Casterline's DNA was on the blade of the knife, and they also said they were seen with 2 knives earlier, both wielding knives, and all that sort of shit. So it's very logical to think that they both may have had a knife and been involved in this. Also, the admissibility of this letter. That seems to be a big fucking deal.
I hate you butterballs?
Yeah. He's trying to say...
What was the name? Whiskey Ding.
Whiskey Ding Dong.
Whiskey Ding Dong.
Whiskey Ding Dong.
Right.
Whiskey Ding Dong. So this guy, they're saying that not that the letter isn't true or anything like that. They're saying that how do you know it's me? They're saying you can't authenticate that letter. And they're going, actually, when you send a letter out, it's all cataloged. So we really can identify it.
I know exactly when you
said your fucking inmate numbers on it. And they're like, well, how do you know I wrote that? That could have been anybody putting all my information on and writing my personal things that only I know to my stepfather.
Right.
Only could be anybody, really, at that point. So, they said the trial court has discretion to determine whether evidence has been properly authenticated. They made that decision. It wasn't out of the realm of normal to think that belonged to him.
Right.
That's their job to do. They did it, and that's that. So they said in the addition to the testimony of the chief jailer, the substance of the letter proves further authentication, like I just said. Yeah. Also, the admissibility of the knife. Andrew argues that the district court erred by admitting into evidence over his objection that the knife was found in a Jeep that they had been traveling in here. He says that the knife should have been, even if it was relevant, it should have been excluded because its probative value was outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice. The state argues that they waived this issue because he failed to timely object to the knife at trial. He didn't object to it. So you can't appeal on something you didn't object to in the first place. It's very hard to do. It's like you didn't give us such,
you didn't stop before.
Yeah, what was wrong with it
you didn't
before?
Have a problem then.
It's a hard argument to make where it's so egregious now that it's worth a filing, but then you couldn't have just gone objection.
Right.
Like, why is it so different here? So they said that he didn't object to the knife on relevance grounds until after two witnesses have testified about the knife being found and pictures had been offered into evidence. That's when he said he had to step in and object at that point. That doesn't work. They said even if these objections had not been waived, we conclude the knife was clearly relevant and admissible under the ruling here, and that it was found in the vehicle he was driving. It contained his DNA and the victim's DNA in this case, who happened to be stabbed to death. Doesn't get any more relevant than that. So no error admitting that. And also jury instructions. There's he argues jury instructions, saying that first he argues the district court improperly instructed the jury on elements of first-degree murder, and he says the district court erred in refusing his proposed elements instruction, which was taken from the Nebraska pattern jury instructions, and blah, 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 blah. They go, you know what? You fucking stabbed a 68-year-old lady. We're positive you did it. Right. None of that shit matters. And it's poor. It's actually poor legal stance is what you have too. It's not even like a good legal argument that logically we can't get down with. You have nothing.
Right now you're just pissing in the wind.
You are pissing into the wind. And in Nebraska, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a strong wind. It'll put a snowdrift in your bedroom. Fucking windy. That sounds terrible. All right, high five on that one. That was definitely not planned or anything. I wasn't even looking at Jimmie when we both said that. I was looking straight ahead. That's fucking good stuff. So he is in prison for life.
That's like number 3, by the way.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's
it's
pretty
really
silly.
Getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
It fucking fits so well. So that is Guide Rock, Nebraska.
Wow.
Andrew's in for life.
Yep.
And Shelley's in for life.
Yep.
And doesn't look like they're coming out anytime fucking soon.
What about Whiskey Ding Dong?
Whiskey Ding Dong's got a whole lot of space around the property nowadays.
He's got a couple of houses.
He's got 3 houses, Whiskey Dicka Ding Dong.
Wow.
Whiskey Amalama Ding Dong. He's got 3 houses, open space. He's just having the time of his life, drinking away his Sunday afternoons, passing out in the front lawn with the neighbor there looking out the window still going, Jesus Christ.
Is he still drunk?
Is he still drunk? Well, I guess I'll hang out with him. Ain't nobody else around. So now there's 2. Maybe those are the 2 less people in that one thing.
Yeah.
3. These 2 in prison and one of them dead.
Rolling back the population.
Holy shit. Mark off 2 again. Shit, it's another murder. So that is that story. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, there's a way to tell us about it and tell the world. Damn it. You can go on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Get on there. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. We don't care. It's not for our ego. It's just for business purposes. For some reason, that helps drive you up the charts, which in the podcasting business is extremely important to drive up the charts. So that does that. Also, you can help us out a lot by going to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can find everything small town murder and crime and sports, and listen to Crime and Sports. If we've ever given you guys guys follow advice on like books and shows and things like that, we've never recommended anything as much as Crime and Sports. Please give it a shot. If you can listen to Crime and Sports, listen to Mitch Blood Green or Otis Nixon and not laugh, I'm sorry, you're made of stone. So do it up. Listen to Crime and Sports. Find all your merchandise on there. Tickets to live shows throughout the rest of the year. I think Dallas is probably sold out by now because we didn't get a ticket update. But Monday there was 12 left. I can't imagine 12 tickets didn't sell. So that's probably sold out today. You can try and get the last 2 if they're there or something, but I think that's probably gone by now. So I don't know. Get your tickets. Tampa tonight. Damn it, Orlando tomorrow. We're coming for your asses. Get down there. Do that. Follow us on social media so you can find out things before they even happen. Just when we're putting it out there, we're at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and we are at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Find us there, do all of that shit, and thank you for everything you do for us. A lot of you guys, we're going to talk about our producers in a minute. A lot of you guys you've stepped up so much for us, and you donate shit to us, and you send us nice things.
You're
and
so nice. It's
you're
ridiculous.
fucking nice to us. You're nice to us, and we're a dick sometime.
We don't deserve this.
I get it. Look, we say shit sometimes that's, questionable. And it's because it's always for purposes of humor, number one. But even regardless of that, sometimes it's true. And sometimes if you have to think about sometimes you might like something that you like. You might not be correct. You could be wrong, but like that anyway, and that's okay.
It's fine.
We're cool with that, but we're not going to say you're right for liking it. We're going to say that sounds terrible. But then also it's your life, so carry on.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy. Like,
smile.
We talked about have your fucking kids in a hospital. When we were talking about the episode of people wanting to have kids at home. We got messages with people who were complaining, saying, actually, if it's a low risk. No! It's a fucking no! One's your living room. One's a medical facility with machines and people who went to college and medical school and residency to learn about how to save your fucking baby's life.
Argument over.
Stop
it.
Sorry.
Don't talk to me about statistics.
Doesn't mean you don't have the right to do that. And if you want to have your kid in your living room with whoever your neighbor, I don't give a fuck who delivers your kid. I don't care if your kid lives or dies. It's not my problem. I don't know you.
That's true.
So if you want to have a kid in your living room,
fingers crossed,
and it dies, I don't care. I mean, I care. I don't want anybody's kid to die, but I'm saying that this isn't a thing where I'm like, you asshole, I don't like you. You can have your right to do that, but don't think that you're correct in doing that it's really the better thing. That's wrong. It's just your opinion, which is fine. I know that smoking pot isn't good for you all the time. I like to smoke it anyway. See what I'm saying there? You can tell me it's bad for me and I'll go, yeah, you're right. But I still want to do it. Just respect that, and you can spit your kid out in your bathtub while your fucking neighbor waits for it with a catcher's mitt. I don't give a shit. Have fun. That's all I wanted to say to that. Don't get mad at us for having an opinion that we don't have strongly enough to even judge you for. We don't give a shit what you do. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. I want other people to have freedoms to do whatever they want, and that unless you're infringing on someone else's, I don't care about that either. So enjoy.
Deal.
Is what we're saying. But follow us on social media. Do all that. And now, Jimmy, list of producers here. If you want to be one of those producers, very easily, you can do that at patreon.com/crimeandsports, or you can do it over at PayPal using our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. You can get to both of those right from shutupandgivememurder.com. And now, Jesus, Jimmy, I need to hear the list of my favorite people, because these people, we share with them. They share love with us. We share love right back. This is all love. This doesn't sound terrible. No. This sounds wonderful. Hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are The Charlie Project and Megan Good.
Wow.
She puts together like a database.
Yeah.
It's like the second largest database of,
I've seen her.
Of missing people.
Really good.
For you, Megan.
Good stuff.
James Lucchese, Carrie Clark, Silky Jensen. She told me how to pronounce that, and that's not it.
Silky Jensen sounds like a Dave Chappelle character at the Player Haters Ball. Silky Jensen. Hate.
Mike Eklund, Rick Sikorsky, Lisa Jensen, Samantha Landis, Andrew Cordovas, Brendan Clohessy, and Christine Lally. I think it's Lally. It might be Callie. God damn it. How do I do that every week?
I don't know. Should wear underwear with dick holes in them. That's the best line. Not the person you just said. Silky Jensen would have said that about Rosie
Thank
O'Donnell.
you guys so much for everything you do. Other producers this week are Neil Campbell, happy birthday, Ashley Lunsford, Tanya Rumisher, again, I'm an asshole, Ann Ferry, Caitlin Freilich, Cindy Elliott, Morgan Haynes Mannion, yes, Carolyn Jackson, Lalama, that's a hyphenated name, I think. Carolyn Jackson Lalama, Lily Frank, Michael Nutt, Nicole Rivas, Jill Knapp, Joshua Doyle, Jeff Huber, Alexandra Feliciano, Sarah Wetmore, Laura Michelli, Dustin Say, Danny Furlon, Travis Schaefer, Jura Freeman, Arta Cialava, Casey Handel, Hallie Franks, David DeBlaker, yeah, Stephanie May, Jessica Gonzalez, Jade Winarski. Winnie,
you had to turn the key a couple times on that. There we go. Turned it over.
Allie Madden, Tiffany Summers, Rachel Tanner, Lauren Moore, Snoop and Bald Eagle, Olivia Herman, Jake Elliott, Stephanie Dupois, Susan Duquette, Austin Nearing, Heather Elizabeth, Mike Singer, Jessica Stewart, Megan with no last name, Elisa Arsenault, Melissa Small, Nancy Ehlers, Aoife Leakey, yes, Maggie Smith, Emily Eldridge, Carrie Hobson, Jessica with no last name, Adrian Perry, Tyler Sheldon, Eric Hero. Hero or hero?
You're a goddamn hero to us.
Yeah. Aaron Parker, Tyler Sheldon, I said that. Annie R., Rhiannon Garrett, Ryan Milligan, Danielle Hansen, Joe Cassidy, Justin Hinkle, Paul Landis, Victoria Eves, Katie Vance, Ann Campbell, Zoe Bednasak, I think so.
Sure.
I don't know, Bednasak. It's
Bednasak.
Tara, Tara, no last name, Jeremy Compton, Tanya Albone, Tommy Aguilar, Nicola Master Antonio. That's what that is. Yeah, like the chick from the 80s.
You like the 80s actress with with the big hair.
Right, from fucking Robin Hood, right? Yeah.
Hey, was she in Robin Hood?
I think so. Yeah, she was the love interest.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever. Lena Mason, Kristen Cessor.
It's a story of 16th century England where Kevin Costner goes out with a Spanish chick.
It's pretty rad. It's very edgy. Hillary Klonowski, Paul Weigel, Jeff Skyner, Dana Papalia, Megan with no last name, Rohit Sharma. I'm not going to fucking try to culture it up like I know what I'm talking about. Like I know how to, whatever that
Probably
is.
For the best.
Probably. Christy Corbeil, Cole Bressler, Patty Trifoni, Van Honea's Conies? Oh, and something else, and I couldn't see what the rest of it was. I don't know what it is. I'm so sorry, Van. Kelly Trainer, Max with no last name, Mary Carmody Trotman, Lori Carmody, that's what that is, I think. Lori with no last name, Sarah Reichert, and the home stretch. Here we go. This is going to be a motherfucker. McKenna Farmer, Elizabeth Yarwood, Carrie Isaacson, Kyle Andrew Mooney, David Cohen, Jeff Thompson, Ayala Tiffenbrun. That's what it is. Margaret Brady, Total Axe. That's a place where you can go throw axes and shit. I think it's in Detroit.
Awesome.
It might just be in Michigan.
Sounds fun for some reason.
Yeah. Julie Hohen, Jordan Bennett, Dana Grayson. Dana, how are you, buddy? Boney Santa Maria. I don't know what that is. That right? It might be wrong.
Sure.
Benjamin Wilkinson, Catherine Parento, Natalie with no last name, Crystal Walker, Philip Close, Thomas Smith, Gary Howard, Gabija Vicente, fucking Vaseline, no, Vasinate. Gabaji, what? I don't know what just happened. Sloan Tate, Justin Miller, Troy Lindsay, Christine Crew. Look, I'm just blasting through them at this point. I'm like, look, I'm going to look like an asshole. I'll just look like a real asshole.
Just plow through.
Adam Udani, Amanda Tucker, I think. No, yes. Christine Crew, Emily Richmond, Elizabeth Gamble, Callie Shinkunis. See, I can knock that one out.
No problem.
Melissa McCutcheon, Deborah Haley, Ashley Vio, Rachel Greco, Jenna Sinevive. Nope. But we'll see you in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Diane Durbin, Connie Snow, Taylor, Laura, no, Cara, oh, that's Caracciolo.
Hey,
that's what that is.
Caracciolo. I like that one. Good name.
Did I say Jeff Connor? I did. Conover.
Well, you said it now.
Sonny Johansson, Brendan Abels, Jesse Hartman, Megan Wick, Dylan Jenkins, Caitlin Wilhelm, Jackie Sukup, Robin Anderson, Joe Weinberner, Jessica Moss, Allison Gorman, no, German, that's what that is, David Bernhardt, Sally Norris, Elizabeth Nigros, that's what that is.
All right.
Yeah, Nigros.
No.
Oh, it's just Nigro. That's what it is.
Oh.
Because she said it's pronounced like nitro. Now every time I put a little T in there to try to remind me, and it never works. So Savannah Shahan, Lubinka Duzel, Liz Vasquez, Tyler Gwill, Emmanuel Christian, Stephen Rude, Mark Foster, Algina Huber, Peyton Meadows, over at Pele Medical Spa up in New Hampshire. My girl went and got her eyelashes done by the girl there. Anyway, she listens to the show, so thank you. And then all of our Patreon supporters, you guys really make a difference, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you, everybody, so much for everything that you do for us. It means the world. We can't tell you as enough times.
It's true
that it's amazing, and thank you so much for everything you do for us. You've honestly changed our lives, and we cannot wait to try to keep giving you good shows and good live shows. And if you buy a ticket to one of our shows, man, we feel like it's our personal responsibility for you to think it's the best show you ever saw.
We don't want to let you down,
or else we feel embarrassed. If people paid money and came out of their house specifically to see us, we're like, oh shit, we better make it good.
This.
Yeah, we're really.
That sounds terrible.
We feel terrible. We feel super put upon to where we're like, not in a bad way. Right. We're like, we need this to be good.
Have to make this worth their time.
We can't hurt these people because they've done so much for us. So thank you.
And the other part is that because we're comics, we want to leave a lasting impression on you of what you've seen here, because we want you to also go see other podcasts live. And if we suck,
go see them if they're comedians.
Right.
If they're not performers. They're probably not performers. So that's a problem.
But go see performers perform. Like, I want you to go see Dan Cummins. I want you to go see his show.
Absolutely. Great comedian.
And if you see us
great comedian.
And you like what we do, go see him. If you see him and you like what he does, we can do as good as Dan.
We'll do it. We love you, Dan, you fucker. We love you, hillbilly Jim looking bastard. We do love Dan a lot. He's a fucking kindred spirit with that bastard. I love that guy. But what if people wanted to tell you how much they hate you? How could they do that?
You can tell me the terrible opinions that I have at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's really a nice break in everyday life to hear from you guys. So thank you so much. And where can they find you and tell you that your opinion about babies is shit?
You tell me that sounds terrible. You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description if you don't want to get too crazy.
Or that sounds terrible on Twitter.
Or that sounds terrible, which I am going to find that on Twitter. And
you better do it tonight.
I have to do it tonight, but I'll get it and it'll be on there and we'll advertise it on there and I'll tell you what sounds terrible. You can tell me what your friends are doing and I'll tell you what they're doing wrong. And then you can then take that information and give it to them and go, see? Yeah. He told me so. I don't know. You don't know this guy, but he said so.
It's universal. You can use it to bitch about pizza, about air traffic.
I'll agree with you, back you up, and I'll tell you why you're right. And I'll reiterate it, and I'll even go to that other person for you and make your case.
Fantastic.
That's how I am, because I like to argue.
It's gonna be the best Twitter account ever.
So fucking do all of that, and until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.